Hello, hello, hello. How's it going there, Zachy? What's going on, guys? Back here in the Career Build Series live, right where we left off last time. So, last time transported a dude over here to the wind turbine area. This one here, this dude here with her crap. And so, let's take a quick little meander around here. I don't want to go too far, but let's see if we can find a crate. We're currently hovering around 70 grand with Katie did in the world, so got a reasonable amount of cash money dollar bills, but it's always better to have more. So, let's take a quick walk around. I haven't really explored this island much, so it'd be good to see. A little break from the submarine. It's making good progress, though. Have till the 17th, I believe, for Big Man's Challenge, so I have plenty of time. A little bit of news or announcements. If you are participating in Challenge Hotel, I've extended the deadline. I did a little poll this morning, and it seemed like many people were interested in a deadline extension. Just, I really don't want it to interfere with Big Man's. I don't want people not to be able to participate in Big Man's. So if you do desire to participate in both, please don't let mine hold you up from doing that one either. So that was one of the things that was kind of making me drag my feet a little bit on potentially extending that, as I didn't want to step on Big Man's toes with that. So theoretically, everybody should have enough time, but just keep that in mind as well. Don't want Big Man's submissions to suffer. I would like some competition myself, as I'm going to be submitting one for Big Man, so... But look forward to seeing everybody's stuff. Some people have already submitted. They are done, and then some people are going to need just a little more time. So I extended about a week. So that should help people get that finished and done. Some people are having some physics issues. I am going to be testing them on high physics, so if you don't have it on high physics, I would recommend testing with that often. Some of the phantom physics will go away at high physics, because that is how the game is supposed to be run on high physics. You know, that makes all the calculations work at full speed. If you start going to lower physics settings, it will not make all the physical bodies work as well, and so that's why sometimes it causes phantom force. Not always. Things can be finicky, but that is sometimes the cause. Let's see if we can get down. I looked real quick for crates. I did not see any, but we'll go ahead and let's see where we're at here, dinero-wise. How much dinero do we have? So that person's box there is the last one that was left. They had a big crate. I could not fit it in. Katie did. I'm not going to worry about it. It's not worth it to me to go back and get that frickin' box. I like these transport missions. I really would like the devs to add some airplane-based transport missions. Like for this one, this was cool. But as you can see, there's no place to land an airplane. No place to land an airplane, so you have to take a VTOL. A lot of this game defaults to VTOL, which is fine. Not necessarily defaults to VTOL is fine, but kind of has to be done by VTOL. It'd be nice if, for example, you know, pick something up here, deliver it down here, transport somebody. Same thing, go up to Tage and, you know, go airport to airport would be kind of cool. All right, so let's get getting here. We'll just head back towards base. Starting to think about buying another base. Not sure which one I want to do yet. The cheapest way to get a second, or get a large bench is this at 15 grand. But the problem is, you know, we're only at 70, so let's say 90 when we put Katie did away. The problem is going to be, you know, okay, we bought a base for 15, but we still can't even use it until we get a little bit of money because we really can't build anything large. And so there's really no point till I have the capital to actually build something large. There's no point in doing that. All right, what do we? We're a little bit low on fuel. 40, not that low. We're less than half, but we're all right. We're a diesel bird. Where the hell are we? We're over here. Let's see. I was gonna say, do we pick up diesel? Actually, we're pumping diesel, so let's not worry about it. So let's go ahead. We'll set our waypoint here. We'll stick that in there. All right, heading bearing. Start to go forward here. And I'll put on altitude hold, and we'll actually kick that up. We shouldn't need to kick it up. We're actually pretty good. You got a week, Zachy. I just extended it by another week, so you have till the 9th of December, so you got quite a bit of time to figure it out. So, you know, go in the challenge discussion, go and build help, see if people will help you. You know, I used to always help the people I was competing against in all the challenges. You know, it's it only makes everybody better. So, you know, don't be afraid to ask for help from your fellow participants. You know, they could help you out with your mechanisms. You know, you still have plenty of time. I usually do not help with the challenges because I will be the one, you know, voting on them. I will be the one grading them, so I find it to be a conflict of interest, so I usually don't help on the challenges. I usually try to let everybody kind of work together on that, so. But I wouldn't give up. I would go reach out, see. It could be something simple that you didn't think of. There could be another solution that somebody comes up with that you like even better, so. And worst case, you know, you still don't want to submit it, but you learn some new stuff, and that's always a cool thing too. All right, so heading right back to base here. Take a nappy new. Put a little bit of health pack on me here. Oh, I forgot the floor was open. Okay, that was scary. I almost jumped into the floor. Okay, there we go. I thought I did not have a health pack on me. I did. I gotta work on the key values on this a little bit. I think it's the wind. I've tried this before. Currently we have a direct crosswind. The wind is like right from our side. So I think that's the issue with why this is jittering back and forth. I'm gonna shut that autopilot off. I don't want to jitter back and forth the whole time in. So, as in real life, I can usually fly better than the autopilot, so just take it off. That's the thing, is the autopilot, this is when people think that everything's going to be automated. The automated systems don't know what the purpose of what's going on is. They see nothing wrong with doing that jitter back and forth. You as a human are like, that is going to make me puke. And so you fly in a way that doesn't make you puke. So it's, you know, when in doubt, fly yourself. Alright, you know, Katy is nice and fast, 146 knots, and it is pretty fuel efficient. We started with, I think, I forget how much fuel we start with, but we're down to 36 gallons. You know, I didn't mean to click that on. We're down, we're a little bit more than a quarter tank. So you can see, it really doesn't use that much fuel to get around if you run it efficiently, you know. And, you know, especially now that we're pumping diesel, we really don't have to worry too much because we can get everything we need. Where's ground idle? Ground idle. Engine's coming off. And we'll put Katy away in the workbench, so nice. Alright, good. Katie's back. See where we're at money-wise. 102 grand, so a good bit of money there. How's it going there, Fiat? What's happening? What's happening? So, doing some Career Build Series live here. Let's go ahead and let's check the Mapperoni. So this is, we have an oil spill here. I do have my cleaning apparatus out there cleaning, so hopefully that sucks it up. That was my doing. That was me pumping oil into the ocean, so hopefully the cleaning apparatus. I really didn't pump that much. Pump like a total of maybe a couple thousand liters in there, so you know, it really shouldn't. Especially with that being pumped out, it really shouldn't be too extreme. Let's go ahead and take a nap. I don't know what I want to do for building either. How's it going there, Daniel? What's happening? So for those who just joined, I did extend the deadline of the challenge. I just asked that those who do intend on participating in Big Man's make sure that you don't cut it too close, so that I don't want Big Man to not have submissions because I extended the deadlines. So we'll keep it on day a little bit. I'll flip the day, but it's tough for a lot of people to see the stream if it's nighttime. So generally what I'm kind of doing now is I override time and then I'll just zoom it back to where you know, where it needs to be there for that. And we'll run the day and then I'll kind of go through the nights. All right, good. Let's check I do have allow no clip on, which will make the missions spawn further away. That gives you a higher difficulty of mission further away. I don't mind that. We can use katydid as well if we want to. Let's see. Yeah, so like, see, it's not that far away. We have this place again is on fire. That place loves to be on fire. Let's see what we have for tools. I decide what I want to do here for missions. Let's not take that mission. Let's sleep through. I'm gonna shut the no clip off and get some closer missions. We just did a fire there, and I just put katydid away, and I don't want to use katydid again. So go ahead and we'll take a nap here. Keep throwing my chairs around in here. How's it going there, Citrus? Yeah, no more naps. I took one the other day that was too long, and it completely screwed my sleep up. So. Small speedboat requires servicing. Did I? Okay, override time off. Okay, that should be off. I don't know why it wasn't accelerating. Okay. So let's see where this one is. This one should be close. Yep. So this is the whole thing. You know, you have no clip on. They spawn far away. Not that that was that far, but you get them nice and close. So this one here is. Oops, go away, please. Small speedboat requires servicing in the ocean. So this one is a transpost. So I can't really show you guys that, but. So we're going to take out the tugboat from the last career build series. I did some testing with my Daemon 2111. Generally with azipods, the azipod is supposed to go 360 degrees. I figured out a way to do it. I have to go diesel electric, so I might convert the tugboat to diesel electric at some point. So we'll grab, I'd love to use the remote control tug, but I just don't have the, let's see. That would be a good test of the remote control tug, but I haven't checked it. So, one thing we need to do here is... What do I do here? Currently, these hatches still are not adhering, so I just need to merge these. And that will get us going here. So, this is the tugboat from the last career build series. That one is still technically going, that career build series, but... So I'm going to try to get all my azipods to be 360 degree azipods. I just need to get a proper diesel electric system going. So I will be converting some stuff. Whole reason is like you leave your propellers spun up the whole time. Oh Jesus, that's my fault. I accidentally. This one you don't sync the thrust, so I had the port. I just pushed up the port and didn't push up the starboard screw. So. You know, you can essentially spin up your... Oh, crap. I have to be careful with some of the stuff. I have to be careful with some of the stuff. We're going to have to shut off overheating because currently there is some stuff broken with overheating. I did some testing. Radiators are really effective now. Electric radiators are very effective at cooling. Water cooling is very ineffective. And so for those of us using water cooling, it is currently ineffective. You know, I could complain about it, or I could just play and have fun. And so I choose to, instead of complaining and being whiny all the time, I'm going to just have fun. And so all it takes is clicking on this, and bingo. That game-breaking bug is now no longer a problem. You know, I wish more people would just kind of take that attitude. It's like, yeah, would it be great if everything was working perfectly fine, 100%? Absolutely. But we don't live in this perfect world. We live in a world where... You know, a lot of us asked for changes to the game. Changes means that some stuff is going to break. And because, you know, some of us asked for some changes and that would mean things will break, you know, some things broke. And the devs are trying to fix it. Are they doing a perfect job? No. I don't think any of us expect them to do a perfect job. But, you know, I think they're doing a reasonable job getting these things fixed. And, you know, eventually... this stuff will be all ironed out. And I think the issues are pretty minor. If you literally have to go up here, click this, and click that off, and that solves the problem that you're ranting and raving about, and this game sucks, and I'm going to quit the game, and everything else. If that one checkbox is doing that to you, frankly, I don't think you're really enjoying the game that much anyways, and you probably should move on. You know, it's one checkbox, we'll fix it, and then eventually... they're going to revamp it probably, and it will work eventually again. So, but currently, electric radiators are working really, really, really well at cooling. I did a test with a 3x3 modular engine, 4-cylinder, running at 10 RPS. Ran it for, I think, over an hour in the arid biome. With 4 radiators, the radiators click on, click off, click on, click off. That's it. And it keeps it ice cold at 100 degrees. Perfect. So 4 radiators on that big engine, no problem. I bet you 3 would work because 4 was fine. There are some tricks you can do to get really insanely high flow rates on liquid. You know, we're currently up to like 200 something on large pumps, which is something the community's been asking for. The problem right now is we're having issues pumping seawater. So I'm probably sure at this point there's been enough complaining about that the devs know about it, and eventually we can expect an update. So would I recommend making huge changes to all your builds? Nope. I tested Triton out yesterday. I was able to run Triton for, I think, 40 minutes. I just put Triton out putting around in the ocean at full throttle. Triton uses a hybrid cooling system. It cools with both seawater and radiators. And with the hybrid cooling system, Triton has an auto temperature protection. So what happens with Triton is when you hit a certain temperature, I think it's like 110 degrees, it will automatically bring the throttle back a little bit, and it will bring the throttle back until you start losing temperature. So it works with a delta. Once the temperature starts to go down, it stops reducing your throttle. And so Triton goes from a max speed of 20 down to 16 knots. So I'm not going to rebuild the system until, you know, kind of know if I need to rebuild the system. So I would just, again, caution and, you know, a little bit of patience, I think, will work. And if it's really bothering you, come up here, shut off overheating. And then when they fix it, bingo. You know, I think a lot of people are getting frustrated. They're completely tearing apart their builds and rebuilding. And then something changes next week and they get all frustrated again. Hey, I'm not frustrated. Shut off overheating. Okay. And then I did a little bit of testing. And so all my stuff with radiators is ice cold. My seawater cooling stuff is running hot. When I'm running something with seawater cooling, shut overheating off. Real simple. It's going to save you from getting frustrated. You know, we play games for fun. We don't play them to get frustrated. And, you know, a lot of frustration, you can kind of look back at yourself and be like, you know, is there any way I can solve this and not get frustrated? You know, and I think it's pretty easy there. All right, some chat. Well, I would. Let me see. Have I seen any Zachy posts in the build challenge discussion? You know, go in build challenge. Ask for some help. I'm sure there's some people in there who will help. You know. That's the whole point of community. You know, I see a lot of people getting real tight-lipped around challenges sometimes. They're afraid to show something because somebody's going to steal my idea. Well, I used to love it. I used to love helping out people in the challenges. I used to love giving them some of my ideas because that means mine has to be better because I just gave away something. And, you know, you can either look at it as like, oh, I'm going to keep it super under wraps so that nobody takes this cool idea. Or, you know, you say, oh, they liked my idea so much they used it, and I'm going to come up with something else that's cool. And guess what? Now your build's twice as cool as it was before because your competition became more challenging. And that's the whole point is, you know, I think that's the fun part about a challenge is, you know, the higher the level of competition, you know, the better your design's going to be, and the better you're going to get, the more you're going to, you know, come up with some cool and innovative designs. So I think the competition is a good thing. So I would go on there and ask for some help. I'm sure there are some people who would be happy to help you out in there. And, you know, might be something simple they can help you with. Oldest board game we know, but yes. Yeah, sometimes, like a short nap, you wake up, it's good. The problem is that I understand. I'm certainly no sleep doctor, but If you go into REM sleep, you wake up feeling like crap because you need, like, once you're in REM sleep, you kind of want to have a full 8 hours of sleep. When you have a short nap and you don't go into REM sleep, you feel nice and refreshed because you don't go into deep sleep. And I did that myself. I had a 4-hour nap and I completely screwed up my sleep for the week. So it's like you kind of have to set an alarm. It's like, nope, after 40 minutes or whatever, get up. It sucks, but you got to do it sometimes. All right, let's find this. I'm going to quickly, whenever I put the bed stuff in the washing machine, it hates it. So I'm just going to put us on the next waypoint here. And I'm going to quickly flip that. Are we on 231? Why is this not going? Heading hold to bearing. Bearing is 230. What am I doing? Oh, AP Master's not on. That will do it. Okay. All right, I'll be right back. I'm just going to go quickly fix the wash. Continue with the chat. My truck is not turning when towards. Are you using dual rear axles there, Zachy? If you watched my live stream when I was building mine, I had that issue. You need to make sure that you have more weight on that front axle. So do a test. Go put a ton of weight blocks on your front bumper. Get the mass really heavy in front of on the front bumper, and then do the same part. See if you can turn there. If you can, it's a weight balance issue. Once you know it's a weight balance issue, what you want to do is you want to shift more of that mass forward, because what's happening is it's a seesaw. So let me bring up a quick picture. I literally had the same problem when I was building my truck for. It was my test build for the challenge. So let me get a new one here. I gotta see if there's an option where I can set, because I always want it 2560 by 1440, and then I end up having to pick it every time. All right, so think of it. You have to think of it as a seesaw. So think of the basics of what's going on with a truck. So you have yourself a wheel, right? The old square wheel. All right, so here's a wheel, right? So your wheel is your point of pivot, all right? And even if you have two wheels, right, that's probably not the best way to do it. So here's your wheel, all right. All right, so here's your two wheels, right? Now your center of pivot is between the two wheels. All right, now you want to put another wheel on there. There's your front axle. All right. So now you have a piece of mass, right, that's going to be big and heavy and obnoxious like a container. And so now you have to worry about your container. So your container comes on, and it's big and it's heavy. And so as you shift and you move your container, you're going to either be seesawing forward or backward, because there's a balance point here. So if you shift your weight backwards, right, what's going to happen? Well, the center of gravity now is behind the center of pivot. It's going to lift your front wheels up. It's going to take some of the pressure off your wheels. The traction comes from weight pushing the wheel into the ground. The less traction you have, you're not going to steer as well. As the weight shifts forward, though, once the center of gravity gets ahead of the center of pivot, it's going to put more weight down here. So that's what I had to do with mine. I ended up moving my rear wheels forward, and I added weight. So by adding weight, you can do it, but you can also move your wheels forward. By moving the wheels forward, the weight can stay where it is, but effectively it looks like... no, I moved them... Did I move them rearward? I must have moved them rearward. Yeah, you moved them rearward, because moving them forward would shift the weight to the ass. But you want to move your wheels so that the center of gravity moves towards the front wheels. By moving the center of gravity towards the front wheels, it's putting more pressure down on the front wheels, and you're going to get better steerability. The other thing you can do is you could kind of you know, one thing I had tried, it was working, it was wigging a little bit, but it was working, is this wheel here had a hard axle. This wheel here had a hard axle. This wheel here was on very light suspension. So it was like this wheel was doing nothing. And now what it does is, instead of your center pivot being right here between your wheels, it moves it back to here. And so even though this weight hasn't shifted, let's leave the weight here, your center pivot is here, right? The center of gravity is right on the center of pivot. If you move your center of pivot back to here, the center of gravity is in front of your center of pivot, and it puts more mass on the wheels. This happens in tractor trailers all the time. What we have in tractor trailers, say that's your trailer, right? If you go over the scales and your weight distribution is wrong, you can get a fine. So what they do is you will pull a pin right here, and you'll actually slide your axles forward or back. So if you slide your axles rearward, more weight is on the front wheel. If you slide your axles this way, more weight is back. You know, and so you slide your axles in order to do that. So that's how I knew to do that with my build, was it's something you do in tractor trailers all the time. You have to slide your axles. So consider your axle position, because I literally had to go through that in the live stream. That was causing me problems with my build. Oh, look at this. We got some good weather out here. All right, there's the boat. All right. You know, so just consider that. That could likely be your problem. Play with some of that stuff. Again, you know, people are looking to help you too, which is nice. But yeah, I always liked the... I always liked helping people out in these challenges when I was participating as well. I think it's, yeah, for that reason, like I said, you know, if you have something cool in your build and you give it away, like people would ask, hey, you know, I remember the Maz challenge. Where the hell did it go? Okay. I remember the Maz challenge. People were like, oh, I really like your movable shift handle in the truck. Do you mind if I use that? No. You know, it was a cool feature on my build, and so what did I do? I went out and I put even more cool features in the build, because I was like, oh, I don't have this part that sets me apart anymore. I now have to put something else cool in there, and then your build just becomes cooler and cooler with more and cooler features, you know. I think overall that's kind of a better strategy, I think, than people being ultra tight-lipped and afraid that people are going to steal their ideas. It's like, you know, plus, you know, of course some of us are coming up with like really unique stuff, but for most of us, there were engineers who designed this stuff already that, like, you know, that are already in real life. It's not like it was our original idea, you know. We got a shift knob from being in real vehicles that had shift knobs, you know. What do you got in here? Any sort of theft in here? No, nothing for thieving in here. All right, where are we at? Winch. Surprised I remember how to drive this tug. Alright, so we're currently down here to the south. We're going to come all the way up to the top of the peninsula here so that we get around this peninsula. Alright, we'll put that in GPS. We'll go ahead, bearing, autopilot. And we'll stop, what are we at, 66 meters of rope. We'll stop there. Alright, nice. Easy tow with the tugboat here. As it's supposed to be. That's a tugboat's job, is to tow. It should be good at towing. Alright, I'm gonna go check the temperature. I could check it up here. Let's check it up here. What's my temp looking at? Engine temp. Okay, they're actually not bad. So I'm curious. Oh, you know why? Let's shut off overheating. Let's turn overheating back on. This boat does not use seawater cooling. This system. This uses heat sinks. So this is a heat sink system. So I forgot that this is heat sinks. If I can jump back there and show you guys, I'll have to take my word for it. You really can't see. There's a heat sink underneath both engines. I could do right here. You can just see the black border of the heat sink right there. There's the heat sink. So it's showing no water passing through, which is normal, because we'll see if I overheat. I'll keep an eye on it. because usually I don't have my cooling system come on until it's over 100 degrees because I want my engine to come up to temp. So let me read some chat. Read some chat. Where to put the... What's happening here? What's happening? I'm dying for no reason. There's no air in here? Why is there no air in here? Somehow I was getting suffocated. Interesting. I was getting suffocated. This is a sealed room. Did I really use up all the... You know what I wonder? I wonder if... I don't think my engine is... Are we actually getting CO2 from the engines? That's interesting if we are. I don't know if we're getting CO2 from the engines. That's interesting. That exhaust right there? What is this? What is that hole in my roof? I don't know. I can't read it right now, but I was suffocating there. That's interesting. I don't know why I was suffocating. I wonder if the exhaust was blowing into the room and suffocated me. But anyways, we need to fix our lights here, people. We're towing. We need the yellow light on when we're towing. Yep, we need the yellow. We need the old amber on there. It is right there. I can't see it over the smoke. I wonder why there's smoke underneath us. That's weird. I don't know. I like this setup. This is cool just because it's like, this feels very like compact, and I like that in a build. Alright, let's go ahead and read some chat. This is a good mission for reading chat. Let's see, where to put the radiators? I've heard that it's because you put them in a closed room, the air heats up. Yes, if you put it in a closed room, the heat will go up. I've been doing some testing. Currently, radiators are kind of borked. They are borked, and again, you know, my whole philosophy is why rant and rave about it? Just put in a bug report and shut the overheating off if you need to. But the radiators, when they're in a closed room, they're going to do that. They're gonna heat up the room. They're going to be less effective. The electric radiators right now are extremely effective because for a while there, it was a big complaint from the community, rightfully so, that the devs limited the flow rates of the pumps essentially to 75-75. So it did not matter in many cases whether you used a small pump or a large pump. If you were going long distances, yes, you wanted the large pump. If you were going short distances, the small pump was fine. That has changed as people requested with this update, where we can now get like, I was doing 160 something, 175 liters up and down on a small pump, over 200. Apparently, if you put a liquid tank in the flow, it will give it some pressure. I've tried doing some pressurized testing, trying to pressurize my lines. I'm going to do a bunch of cooling testing. I expect the devs are still going to work on it. There is some cooling problems right now. I'm sure that, let's look. I'm sure that the bug tracker is full of all sorts of, you know, things for it. So I'm sure that people are making, what's going on here? It's happening again. Stop. I gotta put an air relief in this room then. It does make sense I'm suffocating, seeing that I'm sitting in a small enclosed room. This encloses the room. This is completely sealed. What I can do is put a small little exchange pipe on top. So let's see. Just reading some of the bug reports, seeing what's in here, because a lot of people have been talking about cooling. They have been slowly and steadily fixing. These are the last, I would say, if I were to kind of put a title on this, this would be the balancing pass. They're starting to balance these things. You know, they had a lot to do when the update really broke a lot of stuff. And they're finally, I think, able to get onto like a balancing pass. And so I think that would be my kind of thought process of where we are right now. We're in the balancing pass, you know, so If you guys are interested in Steam stuff, I just put out a bunch of videos, 4 videos on Steam tutorials. There's a playlist there if you're interested in. Like, I'm just reading a quick bug report now. Somebody's saying Steam is completely unusable. It is not. I just put out a whole series of videos on it. It's not unusable. You know, so it is. Steam is completely usable. It is different in certain ways, but it is completely usable. So let's go ahead and we'll accelerate to our next destination here. You know, and so, I don't know, it frustrates me a little bit when I see these things like this is completely unusable. It's not, and I understand. You don't know that it's not unusable. You see on Reddit, people like Steam is broken. It's, you know, and if you don't take the time to actually test, yeah, you'll just believe somebody on Steam or on Reddit for what they said. But some of the things I would say are kind of borked here and there, but a lot of it is... it's not working perfectly, but a lot of it is working. So I think, look, I'm putting out tutorials as fast as I can for that reason, as I want people to have a good time, and I want people to be able to figure it out. And if they can't, they can follow a tutorial to figure it out. You know, so that's one of the reasons I do some of these tutorials too, is, you know, it can be frustrating when you don't know how to do something or something's broken, and so try to take the time and do the testing so that everybody can enjoy the game. Let's see. Yeah, so you don't want to put radiators in closed spaces. Theoretically, I haven't tested it much. You used to be able to do, sometimes you could put it in with some liquid and it would pass the heat off. Generally, you want your radiators out. The whole reason why there are fins is for the air to go through it. You know, it's not really an air system in the sense of the way the game does it, but that's how it is supposed to be. Is the way a radiator works is you have, you're pumping hot water from the engine, from the jacket of the engine, and it's going through these tubes. And the tubes have fins on them. The air goes over, the heat goes from the tube to the fins. And then as the air passes over the fins, it's a nice thin piece of metal, so it conducts the heat really well, and then it passes it to the air, and the air cools it down. And so you really should, you know, the radiators should not work well in an enclosed space. They should do exactly what they're doing, which is if I took my car radiator and I put it in an enclosed room in my house, it would heat that room up like crazy, because the cold air in the room would take the heat from the fins, and eventually the room would get hotter and hotter and hotter. Generally, the radiator has access to the outside air, and it blows over it, and a fan blows the air over it so that the cold air can then pass over the radiator and cool it down. That's why, like on a hot day, you know, cars will overheat, is because, you know, the air cannot take much heat because the air is as hot as the radiator is, or, you know, a little bit less, but the air is too hot, essentially, so it's not as effective. But yeah, you should put the radiators on the outside. How's it going there, FS? I'm way behind in chat. Good chat, though. It's getting me into some long talk here. Jeez. That sucks, Citrus. Yeah, don't worry about that. You know, it's better to do the things you need in life than to give it to me. Ah, nice. The old spaghetti microcontroller, that happens. Yes, the valve timing, you know, the valve timing I think is the easiest thing. And let me bring up my picture from yesterday. I recommend people should go watch the tutorial, but if you don't, this is, so I made a little diagram, a little picture from the Steam Tutorial 4. So these are pistons, and this is the way they work in real life. So this is a cutaway. And so this piston is all the way down to the bottom. So what happens is the steam comes in the top and it pushes down and it pushes the piston down. Okay. Then what happens is this valve will close. This valve will open. The steam will come in this valve and it will push the piston back up. Once the valve gets all the way to the top, this valve is going to close. This valve is going to close. This valve is going to open, and you get back to this situation. So it goes, down, up, down, like that. And so these are all your in valves. And then on the other side, you have your out valves. So if your top in valve is open, your bottom in valve should be open. And these two, this one and the other one on the other side, should be closed. And then for going up, it should be this one open, this one closed, the top one on the other side open, the bottom one closed. It doesn't seem all that intuitive the way they do some of the numbering until the read is going to be different than your setup. That's fine. The reason is because the piston does double strokes essentially. So they go from negative 0.5 to positive 0.5. In game, it is from 0 to 1. When the piston is on its downstroke, it starts at the top is 0. When it goes all the way to the bottom, that is 0.5. When it goes from the bottom all the way up to the top, that is 0.5 to 1. So if you watch the tutorial, it's really simple. If I want the steam in here, and I want the steam to go out the bottom and the back, on the downstroke, as long as it's 0 to 0.5, so I use a threshold gate, I read the position, 0 to 0.5, it opens this one, it opens the one in the back, on the bottom, and that works. As soon as it hits the bottom, it switches, it goes over 0.5, and then this one will open, and that one in the back on the top will open, this one will close, the bottom back will close, and now the steam comes in, it pushes it up, and so it's very simple. Now, when you're in a car, cars are different. Let's see if I can get a picture here. Let's see. 4-stroke. Engine. Cutaway. There we go. We'll do a 4-stroke engine cutaway here. Trying to find one that I can kind of see here. Trying to see one that shows the 4 strokes. Usually there's a good diagram that shows all 4 strokes. This one's kind of does it. This one, not really. I find one that has all 4 strokes going. Like a 4-cylinder is beautiful because it should, it'd be each cylinder's on each stroke. Let's see, 4-cylinder, 4-stroke, 4-cylinder engine cutaway. It's gonna screw me here. This one might work a little bit. This one's not bad. Hopefully the animation isn't a pain. Let's see. I'm trying to find a good cutaway. But anyways, on a 4-stroke, not every stroke up and down is a power stroke. Let's put it that way. All right, so for a 4-stroke internal combustion engine, let's say your first stroke is going up, and that is compression. So the cylinder comes up. Let's do intake. All right, so the cylinder is going to come down. All right, your mixture in is going to be a mixture of air and fuel. All right, as the cylinder comes down, there's a chain on the end of there's a sprocket on the end of the crankshaft. On the other side, there'll be a chain. The chain will go from the sprocket up here, and it will loop over this camshaft right here. And so the chain goes up, there's another chain that goes up there. The chain will turn, which will push this irregular cam. That's why it's called a camshaft. And it will push this valve down. There's a spring here. The spring keeps the valve up and seated. When the cam comes around, the cam pushes the valve down. The cylinder will go down. The mixture will come in. All right. Then when it gets to the bottom, the valve will close because this will have rotated because of the chain position. All right. It will then have the piston will start to come up again. When the piston gets up to the top of the piston will touch the bottom of the spark plug right here, and that will complete the circuit. Boom, it will ignite. The fuel will burn. It will push it down. Now you're in so you went intake, compression, this is combustion. So that is expanding the gas, pushing the cylinder back down. As the cylinder goes back down, the chain is going to move on this side. This, if you notice here, see this cam is touching the valve, and this one is opposite 180 degrees. That's because when you're on your intake stroke, this is pushing the valve down. When you come in on your compression stroke, this cam will be over here, and this cam will be over here. And so neither of them will be opening any valves. Then when you come in on your power stroke, the cams will still not be touching the valves. Now, when it goes back up on the exhaust stroke, the cam is going to push the exhaust spring down. This cam will probably be over here. And so it will push the exhaust valve down. Now the cylinder comes up and it pushes the air out of the exhaust valve. So that's how it works in a four-stroke. Now, the thing of it is, you have intake, no power. Compression, no power. Power stroke, power. Exhaust, no power. It's a four-stroke. Only one of the four strokes gives you power. And so if we were having to time our engines in game, which I think would be awesome, people would hate, you would have to time your power strokes with that. Now, when we talk about the steam, if you're using valve timing like I did in that video, every stroke is a power stroke because the steam comes in the bottom, the steam comes in the top, steam in the bottom, steam 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 in the top. There is no stroke where nothing happens. So, for example, if you said that the steam worked by only putting, like, say you only put a valve on the top, right? So you would have to have steam comes in, it pushes the piston down. Well, you would need some other piston to push this one back up. So you could make, for example, a two-stroke steam system where steam comes in this one, and then nothing happens here. No steam comes in to push the piston back up, but the piston next to it, steam only goes in the bottom. So this one, steam pushes it up, and it rotates this one and puts it through its cycle. So with the steam, when you do valve timing like this, you don't have to worry about the position of the pistons. It doesn't matter. And that was one of the things I was trying to impress in the video is the actual orientation of your pistons doesn't matter when you set them up. Like you could put them all going the same way. You could put them all on -0.5. You could put them all 5 apart. You can put them wherever you want because it doesn't matter. There's always a power stroke. Every position here is being powered. Power going up, power going down. There's always power. And because of that, it's perfect. You know, you don't have to have, like, it's a huge thing in internal combustion where you have to think about things like, for example, timing, balance. Balance is huge, especially with motorcycles. Balance is enormous. You know, so one of the reasons I like a straight, what is it, a straight six? Straight six. Straight six is it's primarily and secondarily balanced. The problem is, like, for example, let's say you have a two-cylinder, the engine's going to shake because one of the cylinders is going down, one is going up, it's going to shake. And then you're getting power strokes, that's going to cause shake. And so you have all sorts of systems with that. You don't have to worry about any of that balancing with the steam. It's always going to be power stroke, 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 power stroke. And that's one of the reasons why they can be so powerful is it's always a power stroke. There's no gap. You know, I've talked about it before, it's kind of cool. Like, if you listen to the different type of motorcycle engines, they all sound different, and the nicknames usually go by the sound. Is a thumper is a one-cylinder, it goes thump, 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 because it has one cylinder, and it has to go intake, compression, combustion, exhaust, intake, compression, combustion, exhaust. And the exhaust note's what you're hearing. So it's intake, compression, exhaust, and combustion. You know, and so that's you're hearing the bump, 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 bump. That's the exhaust stroke. So you're getting a break between all the exhaust strokes with the other strokes. And then if you have a four-cylinder motorcycle engine, they call them screamers because, well, the first cylinder is on intake, the last cylinder is on exhaust, and the second cylinder is on compression, and the third cylinder is on combustion. And so one of your cylinders is always on exhaust, so it goes, because you always have a cylinder on exhaust the whole time. You know, so it's really neat that, you know, if you understand kind of that stuff, it's kind of cool. But I would love it if we could build our own diesels like that. That would be really cool. Make 4 strokes, make 2 strokes. That would be the kind of granularity I would love to see. But I'm glad you found it helpful. If we're at... Yeah, I've gotten a little picky with how I tend to do my micros as well. All right, so this is delivered. We're not going to steal any fuel. It's good to have it as an emergency too for us because we're making our own fuel now. Okay. Just reading some chat here. Oh, there we go. It's coming in fast here. I definitely don't want to pull this up on my stern here. There we go. I've done that before. Yank it up on the stern, and it is not pretty. Leave that door open. That door is fine. We can pump out if we need to. I want to set up the don't hit him, you dickhead. So one of the things that's cool with Azopods that I'm trying to switch my systems over to diesel electrics is I want to be able to do 360 degrees, and so I kind of have to do that with electrics. The only way I can get 360 is with velocity pivots, and unless I had a turret ring and I can get the thrust straight down, it's still not going to work really well. I have to pretty much do diesel electric, and so I tested it out with my Damon 2111, and it worked really, really well because what you do is you spin your propellers up, and if you have your two props going out, so each one facing 9 degrees out, it cancels each other out, so you don't move, you just sit still. And then as soon as you want to go back, you just tip them in a little bit and you start going backwards. You want to tip them the other way, you go forward a little bit. And then you can go sideways, and the propellers are always spun up. You're just changing their orientation. So you can do some really fast, cool maneuvering. Unfortunately, with the game, since we can't do 360-degree power pivots, I have to go forward reverse. So I have to wait for the engine to spool down, switch into reverse, rev back up. So it screws up a lot of the movements, and I can't make my propellers go backwards, the actual face backwards. So I will be trying to redo a bunch of this Azopod stuff with the new system. Yes, I saw you do work on that snowmobile. Yeah, I've always liked the. Well, that's sitting up in front of you guys the whole time here. Let me quickly get rid of this plate cap if I can find it. All right, we're heading back to base here. I'm just gonna put in a GPS so I don't have to watch it as much. It's nice having a little bit of a, especially on boats. I tend to do a little bit of a GPS. That's it's it's a little bit easier to, the timing, it takes a lot longer, so it's nice to be able to do this. Also, as you're going out there and, working on the engines, speaking of engines, where's my temp? Yeah, I'm only at 73 degrees, and I'm at 60 on the right. This makes sense because I was maneuvering with just my left Azopod for a while, so that's normal. But I'm using heat sinks, and as you can see, I'm really not climbing in temperature at all. I'm using heat sinks, so if you're having some C problems, you use heat sinks. Sometimes I would agree with the note. I think the devs should be a little bit more candid at times. For example, I would love this game to go super, super realistic. For a lot of people, that would suck, and I get that. And so I think sometimes the devs are afraid to just say, hey, this is our game, and this is the direction we're going with it. Because, for example, like if I said, hey, we put in scaling for seawater engines because we did not want people to use raw water cooling. We wanted people to use heat exchangers. We wanted people to use liquid coolers. We want you to actually have to build a cooling system because that's what you would do in real life because you would ruin your engine putting salt through it. And so I would have no problem if they came out and said that. But they also need to make sure all the other systems are working fine. And if they said this is the reason we did this, you get some people who complain, but hey, we want a more realistic game. I'm pretending I was the devs and this was my position. I say, hey, we want a more realistic game. This is where we're going. I really appreciate that with Escape from Tarkov, where Nikita's like, nope, no game. This is where it's going. Because at some point you need somebody to kind of take the reins and have a singular vision. 3 tutorials in a day, yeah. Two of them were easy. It was just I pulled out the diesel furnace, put in the coal furnace. It's literally the same hookups for that. There's no change. It's just putting in a furnace. So that was like a 3-minute long video. The one after that was electric. That one took a little bit longer, but that was like a 5-minute video. And then the piston tutorial was like a 20-minute video. So 20, 25, 30-minute video, something like that. How's it going there, Variante? Oh, nice. Fixed stream. Yes, it could be belt. It can be gears. Not always chain. There's belt-driven timing systems. They usually do gears when the RPM is very, very high. Like a 20,000 RPM motorcycle. Let me see if I can find it. I'm trying to remember. It was a 400 RR, I think. Let's see. 400 RR sport bike. Let me see if I can find a picture of it. Because they used to have these 400 RRs that they had geared cams. And the reason is the chain has too much slack. A belt has too much slack. When you're at that high of an RPM, it would be absolutely disastrous if the piston hit the valve. Because the whole thing with the cams is as the piston gets close to the valve is automatically already closing. And so if you have any slack in the system, the piston's going to come up and it's going to hit the valve. And your engine's going to disintegrate. And so it's not good. And so what they do is they put gears in there. Let me see. Gear-driven cams. And so by putting gear-driven cams in there, here's a good picture. This is the picture I like from Cycle World. Trying to find the image. So by putting gear-driven cams in there, it makes it so that here are gear-driven cams. There's very little slack in here. So here are your 2 cams right here, and so you have there's another gear down here too. So it goes gear, 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 gear. And so this gear would say this one turns to the right. That means this one would turn to the left. And so to go back to the right, you need another gear. To go left, you need another gear. And then these 2 you want facing opposite directions. So as this one turns, what do I do? Right, left, right, left. As this one moves to the left, it's going to turn this one to the right and this one to, they're both going to go, what's this going on? Both go clockwise there. You know, so that sets up your, these are your gear-driven cams. And that way you don't have any slack in the system. Because you don't want the, don't want that piston hitting the valve. That's bad time. Here's a really cool picture of one. But you can see why they don't do it is doing all these gears can be very expensive, and you have to get all the ratios correct. So this is gear-driven cams, and here you can see them. Like these are dual overhead cams right here. So there's a dual overhead cam here, a dual overhead cam over here. And so, let's see, where's the... this right here is the crank. So this is the crankshaft right here. So this is probably an accessory here. So this looks like the crankshaft right here. Turning this one. So you'd have an exterior gear. So that's a big, powerful torque gear running this. And then you notice these are touching on the hub. So there's a smaller gear on the hub that turns these 2 here. And then this is just changing direction. So this one goes to the right, this one goes to the left. And then if this one's going to the left, both of these are going to go clockwise. And so those are running your dual overhead cams. So kind of neat. You know, and you can see why they'd be super expensive. If it ever broke, it'd be a nightmare because they have to go in there and they have to, you know, the gears themselves are probably reasonably expensive. They have to be machined. Are they keeping a lot of spares around? Probably not. It's easier to replace a belt or a chain. You know, I think the belt's probably the easiest. So it's kind of cool, you know, that sort of stuff. I like that. Like, I would love to go into that granular level in game, but of course, you know, and I actually don't think the devs should. You know, even though I want that, I want the game to be successful. And you make it too challenging, you make it too unapproachable for new people, especially, or people who just don't care about the details like that, then you don't have enough people to to keep a game alive, you know, so I don't always want what I want for the game because it's not really always going to be the best. So we're having a breathing problem in here. We're going to fix that really quick. Should be a piece of cake to fix here. So let's see. What's that? Okay, what is this? Okay. Okay, that's the light right there, I think. No, I think I can go there. Can I go there? Perfect. Okay, so that can go there. So we'll go. Oh, come on. Stop deleting random shit. All right. So what I'm going to do here is put a fluid port on because this is completely hermetically sealed. And because of that, the air is getting used up by me. So we're going to go like this. Then I'm going to do a... Ah, shit, it's going to hit this railing if I do it there. I can't do it up on that railing. That railing's going to screw me. Okay. Yeah, that railing's going to get me. I do it pretty much anywhere else, but... I think see if there's a hidden spot. It doesn't need to be hidden, but... Oh, this is some paint that needs to be done. Bad paint, okay. Doesn't need to be symmetrical either, but... Can it be here? It could be there. Okay. Nope. That was that. Okay. Try not to delete shit I need here. So right here, what's that? That is something. That's the door frame. Okay. What about right here? What's that? Right there. Okay. Making it a pain to find a place for this. I don't mind some of this stuff because a little bit of detail. So like right there is good. You know, it's a little bit of detailing, so it actually adds a little bit of interest to me. So we'll add a fluid port. Like so. Okay. And then we're going to add a gas relief valve. This will just make sure that it's only gas that can come out of here. It can't let out, it can't let water in there. So it will still be watertight. Even if it flips over, it'll still be watertight. So that is, that should fix that. So now we'll, that will let gas air in and out of the volume there. Could even put a scoop on there, which would push air in. That's another thing that could be kind of cool, but that would pressurize it, and if we put a in and an out, that would do gas exchange. That would let the carbon dioxide out. Let's save this. So where are we at here? Tug systems right there. Okay, good. I was trying to read some more chat here. Yeah, it's the old steam cars. Yeah, 1 cylinder, 2 strokes. Yeah, because 2-stroke is 2 strokes. So that's why for a lot of motorcycles, a 2-stroke was more powerful because it was, you know, essentially, you know, you had 2 strokes between. Well, not really 2 strokes between, but you had double the power strokes. Let's put it that way. So double the power strokes. You're getting power. It's power, 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 power. Instead of a 4-stroke, is power, power, power. You know, so you get power more readily. It's how's it going there, Turkish Mappa? Hello, hello. Relax, dude. Relax. All right. Good. So this is saved. All right, good. So let me look in here real quick. This is gonna be a lot of ripping apart to get this diesel electric. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it right now. That was good. Another good mission done. Let's see where we're at, money-wise here. 108. Good. So let's go. I want to make sure that engine overheating was back on. We had no problem. So the heat exchangers are working. So I did a test. It was an enclosed test. I wasn't showing it working right, but apparently it's working in game fine. I don't even know if the heating came, the radiators, oh my god, the heat exchangers came on, but we didn't overheat the whole mission, so that's good. No clip is off, so we can go ahead, and I'm gonna go try to get us another mission here. You're gonna get more than a shout out if you keep it up. Do not spam the chat, please, or you'll be asked to leave. All right, where are we at here? What? Oh my god, another transpo. Oh my god, we got two. Oh, this one, yeah. We're not doing another one right up back to back. Not happening. We're not doing two transpos back to back. Not happening, sir. What's with the cat? He's sitting there relaxing. Let's just see. What do we get? We get another mission? Did I jump out of bed early before the mission came? I did. Alright, extinguish fires, rescue 2 to the hospital. Like land mission. another one here. Small speedboat. Jesus. You know, a ton of these in the same water area. Let's take out the land ship. A little bit windy. The land ship had issues with this before. Hopefully I don't have to turn it over. So we'll head over there and why is the main music stopped? It probably ran out. Yeah. Reboot the musica. Muska. Grab that land ship. We'll go do this one. This way we can go out in the water. I don't want to do another tow mission. We just did one there. Time consuming. They're quite time consuming, so take the land ship out. And this way we can drive there, and then we can go ahead, go in the water to do the rescue, and then we can come out. Park break, there it is. I do have to watch the temp in this. This has, I don't know how this is cooled again. I have to check. This should be radiators, so this one might be fine. But I'll have to check. Yeah, very careful not to flip it this time. That's very much in the back of my mind. How's it going there, Rasmus? I'm trying to read chat at the same time. That's what really makes it likely, is reading chat at the same time. Trying to not flip over here. I'm literally in chat trying to flip over. Yes, radiator on the hood there. It has, that might be the only cooling. I can't remember. Did I put a heat sink underneath? I thought I did something for water, but I can't remember. So I just passed the oil rig. So we need to keep going south for quite a ways. Okay. Is there another oil? Okay, no, that's the oil deposit right there. So we just passed it. We're coming up around here, so we want to go off this peninsula here. Okay. Oh, there's that car that the people died that I threw in the windshield. That still hasn't despawned. I can still see carcasses there. Still carcasses there. Yeah, well, it hasn't been much game time since I actually did that, so. Real world time, it's been a little bit of time, but game time, it hasn't been that much. So. Oh, is this a big cliff? I assume this was not a cliff. Am I wrong? Is this a big old cliff? I gotta look. I know it's beach. Okay, I was gonna go slamming off this. I'm like, a little bit of caution. Dramatic third person water entry. There we go. We're floating now. Just watching. Keep an eye on temp here. We're good. We are good. That's all right. Let's try not to make fish food out of this person with my propeller. I don't want to have to deal with them. Alright, so I'm watching the wind here so I could try to fight the fire from the roof here. Oh, good, just lay in that. That's awfully warm, I bet. Did I hope I put fire extinguishers on here. Remember I said I might have forgot. Oh, repair torches. That's what I need to put in here. Okay, that was it. I thought I had extinguishers on here. Okay. I forgot. This will be burned if I get too close. I meant to get put a fire suit in here too. Oh, come on, stop jumping off, you dickhead. Roof, sit roof. You sit roof, please. All right. Very gentle here. Let's be gentle here. Trying to get that bow put out so that I can get on the bow. I don't want to move the vehicle too close. I'm gonna have to. Okay. Jump, 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 or close the thing. Thought it was within the a little bit off wind. We try to clear a little bit of fire in the stern of the boat, and then jump on. Because you really need a fire suit now, which I kind of like. You know, they increase the sensitivity on you, and because you used to be able to stand right next to the fire, and I kind of like that. Again, it's realistic. You know, they put a fire suit in, and nobody had to use it. You know, and so it's like it gives you a reason you have to use a fire suit. You want to get close to a fire, put on a fire suit. You know, it's not. I think it's good gameplay at the end of the day to make those requirements. You know, I don't think it's bad gameplay to do that. Ah! I'm like double jumping off everything. I don't know if that's something new or it's like double jumping me. It's quite obnoxious. Yeah, stop it. I need to get landed and just take the fire abuse here. There we go. There we go. Just take the fire abuse. Can't jump anymore with the fire extinguisher. My methodology is all screwed up now. They were blocking me putting the fire out. So. Where's my double jump then when I wanted it? I'm very buoyant. Do some lights here. It's awfully dark in this piece. Alright, okay, so they're going. Get up there. Get up there, you scum. A little bit of wind. The wind is blowing me around, too. That's part of the problem is once I get airborne, the wind grabs me. It's actually pretty windy out right now. I think it's 2. We'll check. There's nothing, nothing to steal in this blue boat, unfortunately. I'm getting old. Get in that thing, you sucker. There we go. The wind keeps catching me. Oh, I dropped you already? Okay, I guess I did. Sit there. Behave yourself. Alright, you're good. Let's check the mission. 2. Transport blue boat. It would, you know what would be actually kind of neat? There are a couple of these missions that I wonder if we could actually do from the land. That would be kind of neat to try that sometime. Do it on the land. Somebody looking to get booted from chat? Get their goal here? So if you like it, you can just say I'd like to be booted from chat, and that makes it easier. I can just do it. No, not you. Oh, I forgot I have the spots. Look where I look. I forgot about that. Okay, there's the road. I'm gonna be very careful not to not to flip this friggin' thing. It is good to know, though. I can use the old, can use the regular tow truck to get myself up. Oh, took that one a little hard. The problem is, like, this is stable fine. I've done a lot of testing with this where I drive over some crazy terrain. It's fine. It's the wind. Is once the wind gets a hold of it and it's tipping over, it keeps tipping over because the wind pushes it over. You know, that's the main problem, is the wind helps it. Let's see, what are we at here fuel-wise? We're good. This thing holds a ton of fuel because I will do some long ocean travel with this sucker. So this holds like 400 gallons of diesel. Quite excessive. Alright, I need to go to the hospital. Go to the hospital and put these people in there. I won't jinx and say we've had uneventful missions so far. Temp's not doing too bad though. We're only at 60 degrees. There's the hospital. A little bit of an off-road here. That's not where we're going, is it? Where's that? Okay, I need to go this way. Alright. It's foggy as hell. Very foggy rainy. Nice to get a little bit of weather though. Alright. Let's throw these peeps out of here. Get up there, son. Get up there, son. Ha! How are you doing? Ah, there we go. Medical bed to the wind. I didn't know a medical bed will revive people. I've always just zapped them and then put them in the bed. It is, so the game right now, it does not look like it is getting rid of people that have been rescued. That could be an issue if they stack up too much, so I'm curious if that is intended behavior. I don't know how much game time we put on, though. I could look in the XML to see, but we may not have put that much game time on, so might just be under the limit. So I don't want to rush and put in a bug report for something that's like, no, we extended it so that people would be around for a little while, you know. All right, let's see. All right, we'll see you later there, Penwell. Thanks for hanging out. I think I've weighed them before. I don't know what they are. Like, I think a character's 70 kilos. I don't know if I can't remember if the passion's the same. You know, I tend to build my stuff pretty robust. I put a lot of ballast. A lot of people, they do not weight their stuff down at all. You know, like somebody's talking, oh, look, I put some people on this big ship and the ship's tipping over. How unrealistic. And it's like, yeah, but how much does your ship weigh? Their ship barely weighed anything. You know, so I talk about Triton. Triton weighs like 500 to 600,000 pounds when it's full of water and fuel. You know, and so it doesn't matter what's on there. I can pick up anything with the crane. It doesn't tip over. You know, the ship itself is very, very heavy, you know, and so it helps. And it's like same thing with land vehicles. This thing is pretty heavy, I think, and the weight's as low as I can get it. That helps with stability. So like the percentage of weight that one pasture would be is very small, so it doesn't really make a huge difference. Okay. Let's see, where are we at here? Oh, that's why I didn't put in. I can't put clothes in because they're 3x3s. I could stick it in here somewhere. I don't feel like putting it in right now. I'll get it when I go next. Okay. Alright, good. So that was a good mission. Not doing any transports. Not enough transport. Can't think of any vehicles we really need right off the bat. Of course, we could use a bigger boat, but like right now, I'm just using some other stuff. Been building a lot with the sub challenge coming up, so kind of good to do some missions for change. There should be not water ballast. There should be just weight ballast in there. RC container mover. That's still going. It's just that goes with Triton, and I haven't been using Triton at the moment. Oh my God, what is up with the tow missions here? I'm not doing all these tow missions. Not doing the tow missions right now. We just did one. They take a lot of time. They're fun. I like them, but I'm just not in the mood for a tow mission. Sunken cargo boat. Ooh, that one looks interesting. Can we do that, though? This could get me into some building. Let's see. This interests me. I haven't done one of these yet. So 60 meters, sunken cargo boat. Ooh. That's interesting. Let's see. That's it. Yeah, the subs. Unfortunately, the sub's not ready to go. That would be great for that. Yeah, I don't have anything really to do that, so we probably won't do it. But it's only 1,400 bucks. The devs went back and they rightfully, as people had asked, like give better money for these transpo missions because they're, you know, it takes a lot of time. And then you get something like this that's a long time, and it's not. It's like this is something I think they would benefit from, the devs, is if people are complaining about the rewards of these, just quickly go through all of them. Be like, okay, this one, yeah, you have to transport. This is going to take you about, I don't know, 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back. That's 20-minute mission. 4,200 sounds about good. This one here, I have to come from here over to here and then transport to here, so that's 20 minutes. It's only 1,400. Plus, I have to go down 60 meters. So this is probably a 40-minute mission. Okay, so this should be 8,800. You know, so that's something I wish they would do, is just like keep going, get them all, you know, jazzed up, man. You know, I know they're doing the specific things people wanted there, that people are asking for the transpos to be worth more, but it's like, you know, kind of get the overarching theme of there are some, you know, it's kind of the overarching theme is that we want to be paid effectively for our time, so our time is worth it. You know, that's kind of what I think the underlying thread is. Okay. Let me see what I want to do here. That's Refinery Island there. Can I land somewhere? I don't necessarily need the money right now, but kind of want to do something with a plane. Yeah, I want to I want to do a little bit of building here. So let's do something here. What how are we looking on cash here? Let's think about buying a base. There's $3 to sell there. We could go off Draymore. I love Draymore. Draymore is one of my favorite bases. That's 50. This, like, see, Spy Cave is a lot more economical, but I don't care. I need a little bit of money pressure, because if I don't have money pressure, if I don't have enough money pressure, I don't really have, you know, it's not as much incentive. So I'm trying to think money dealio right now. So I'm thinking Draymore, and the reason is this. What I'll do is we'll transport some jet fuel. We'll transport some. Oh, actually, military would be better for that. Yeah. I haven't tested pumping out to... See, the problem is if I'm going to sell it, I need to put it in the bases. What's military cost me? 90. Yeah, that's steep. Okay. I could go to this base, but I absolutely hate this base. I don't like that base at all. Goofy. Trying to think. Do I want Draymore? See, Draymore unlocks coal for us. So we could go up to Draymore for some coal work because I'm kind of thinking of making a smallish home ship for the live series that's steam based, and would have a small rescue, a tiny rescue boat, a small helicopter on it. So coal could come into play. There's a diesel buy gantry. We don't need to buy it, but we could transpo diesel up here and sell the diesel there. You know, I'm not going to get into a long boat thing because that's going to take forever. So let's go ahead and I'll bring out probably the stall airplane with the pallets, and I want to check the truck that I made for the the example for the hotel, because I set that up so I should be able to drag the pallets on the back of that. So thinking we're gonna buy Draymore. Let's see how much cash we have after I spawn the stall plane. Eventually I'll get to the new airplane, but alright, that's too big. So that's too big right now. That's one of the reasons why the new airplane is small, is to fit the sucker in here. Like, see, this is going to be the live plane. It's going to be its job is to be able to, it's going to be able to transport the pallets. So the pallets are, let me grab a fuel pallet. So here's a fuel pallet, and the fuel pallet will go in the cargo bay, and it should also be able to go on that trailer, not trailer, the truck there, the flatbed truck there. So like that should be able to hold the pallet in there of fuel. So it's a good bit of fuel in there. Look at the wind, just going nuts. The wind is up. Let's see where the wind's at. 66% wind. Yeah, the wind's pretty nuts right now. But that's the whole point of this plane. So okay, let's see what we want to do here. I don't want to get into too much of a building mission at the moment. Let's take a quick ride. Okay, so we do need... I'm trying to remember some things we need to do. So we need to go to the... I'm going to just teleport there really quick. Or no clip there. I need to check. This is going to need to be despawned and fixed. So I have a couple things I forgot to fix on this. So I stopped pumping a while ago. Okay, good. So we're almost out of oil. What I'm trying to do is get us out of oil and convert it to diesel and jet, which is working quite beautifully. We have 42,000 liters of jet fuel. So we do need to start processing this. So that's something very important to do. There's a couple errors in here, and that's causing me problems with pressure, so I need to fix those. So that's good. So we do need to move some fuel. So let's move a little bit of fuel. Where are we at here? Okay, right here. Let's grab that IFA. Yeah, so let's do some of these things require like some long-term planning. So I'd been letting that run for a while to try to convert all the fuel from oil, so that we could get rid of the oil, because I don't want to just delete the oil. I want to I'd rather process it. So this is not done yet. Okay. Going up? It is not. Okay, why are you not going up there, son? Infinite electricity? It's probably I didn't hook the electricity up. Let me make sure that's the issue. No, what's going on here? Lower, off, on. Okay, Just lower the trailer. All right. That's the valve, so need to click the valve over. You know, it's lower the trailer, raise the legs is how it is. So it's kind of have to think of it that way. Still no brakes on this. Eventually work on that. Get a read here on the chat as I try to drive again. Yeah, don't give that dude too much crap. He was trying to participate, you know. I don't have any fuel in here, do I? I better not have any fuel in here. Let me read my gauge. Nope. Okay, good. I stall? No, I did stall. I went too high of a gear, I stalled. There we go. I stalled out. Just reading some chat as I'm going here. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you liked that that RC thing there, Henrik. But yeah, it's mostly a vehicle for Triton. So when I get back to the regular career build series, could Triton lift it with crane? Lift what? The sub? Yeah, it should have no problem lifting the sub. The sub's only 5,000 something pounds, so, or 5,000 kilograms. Triton should be able. Triton can do 2 containers, which is 3,000, and has no problem with that. So I don't see it having a problem with the sub. That's kind of the plan, is to be able to load that on Triton. So that's one of the reasons I'm building that sub as well, is so that sub will go down. So probably what I'll do is I'll put a rope anchor on the outside of the sub. It will. You'll hook a line to it. It will go down from the crane. It will go all the way down. You'll get out of the sub. You'll manually hook the. You can't grab the line there. No, that's true. So what I'll do is do a buckle. So essentially, you just have a rope anchor up against the rope anchor, and then it would go crane to rope it. One of the rope anchors, or 3 rope anchors. No, you could, yeah, you could do it too. Yeah, and then you would detach the other one from the sub and hook it to the whatever you're picking up. Sub would go back up. The Triton would lift whatever it needs to lift on board, and then it would grab the sub. But yeah, I don't see any problem with Triton lifting that crane, lifting the sub. What's up? Oh, my wheels are locked up. Look at my wheels. That's why we're going so slow, is I'm dragging this with the wheels locked up. That's funny. I'm dragging this with the wheels locked up. I don't know. I don't think I did. No, are they moving? No, they're moving. Okay, they're moving. It's just the rate they're moving. It looks like they're stopped. You can see the hubs are moving. That's funny. I thought the wheels were locked up. No wonder it felt like we were going slow if the wheels were locked up. I do need to increase the maximum RPS on this. It feels like the brakes are on, though. It really does. I'm like going super slow, and this is empty. So this is going to take a lot of trips. Ooh, I could have run the diesel train. That's something I could do. I have no place to spawn the diesel train is the problem right now. So this would be good to get a little of this, because we have 42,000 liters of jet fuel to move. We got a lot to move here, so doing a little at a time. But that's going to be a big moneymaker for us, so it's almost worth buying. You know, if I can buy a military base, fly in a military base with some jet fuel, and then sell it there, that's big buku dinero here. Jet fuel. All right, so this is filling. We're going to let this fill over time. I'm not going to sit here and watch it. So put the landing gear down, and we'll go do something else. Yeah, buku fuel. That's going to be good money. All right, so that is all set. This requires this to run, so I can't shut this off. I could. What I should do is put a power output on there, but this actually uses the battery of the truck. So I can't tell what gear I'm in right now. Music's not helping when I can't hear the engine. Because I need to put this in neutral. I need to rev up the engine because the pump uses the electricity from the cab. So you just rev up the engine, and that produces electricity for us here. We're actually filling pretty fast here. The reason we're probably filling really fast is that's a lot of liquid in the... That's a lot of liquid in this tank. That's 40 something, what is it, 46,000 liters. All that weight's pushing down, so it's probably helping to pressurize the line here. Yeah, like, let's see what the hose anchor's showing for liters per second. Yeah, not bad. We're doing 20 liters per second. So you can see the atmospheres was up, so it was the pressure was helping push the liquid through. So we're actually filling pretty quickly. Now, see you later, FS. Yeah, the wheels were looking strange. I don't know. I usually don't put these wheels on here. I usually put the high speeds on. Just I like the look of them better. But these are like egg. Keeping these looking like egg tires because that's what the IFA. It has egg tires in it sometimes, so I like the egg tires. All right, so let's see. What do we got to do out here? Let's go. Let's run this mission off. I'm just gonna teleport. Why not? And we'll go run this mission off with our little boat. I am concerned about the fog, though. Do I have a compass on there? I don't think I do. Let's look. I just need a compass. So if I can put a compass on there, we're good. So here. Little compass, and I'm good to go. Let's go. Electronic dance. Okay. Where is occupied? Trigger, where's occupied on this one? Right there, occupied. All right. The hell did I call that boat? Being annoying. I heard it. CBS, we'll just do that one. Alright, so just a little compass. I should be able to work this. It's going to be a little bit tough to find, but it's not a transponder mission. Those are... can I see it right now? Yeah, I can see it, so... Yeah, I can see the boat already, so it's right there. Yeah, it's right here. Really? Is that really it sitting right there? How is that it? Oh, you know, I wonder if this boat came in and we didn't notice it. I just, like, literally... Oh, no, that's a moving boat. Okay. Alright, I was gonna say, that's an AI. Alright, so what we're gonna do here is this is about north. Directly north is gonna be off the western coast of that, so we're gonna go north here. Alright. Go due north into the rescue area. Yeah, brake was off. Yeah, the straight backs. Yeah, a lot of them are that. I've seen a couple tractor versions of the IFA. I'll probably do some straight back versions of it as well. want to go too westerly. Got to be careful of overheating. This will overheat if, like when we were pulling the oil bell there, it did overheat, but that was it running a max thrust and max load for a long time. So, and we're in the arid biome, so it's another challenge I like to have here. Is it's quite a challenge to stay cool sometimes up here or down here. All right, so we're going straight up, trying to get into the wester. I'm looking for this island. Probably won't see it. Could also navigate with the lighthouse. Look at the lighthouse. It is about, west-southwest or south-southwest. Probably south-southwest. So south-southwest right off here. So we're probably coming up in this area right about here right now. The most basic of navigation is using the compass. And so as we watch the lighthouse, we should keep visual on that lighthouse pretty well. And then as, if we get in trouble, we need to go back, just head due south, and we'll hit the peninsula again. Might move a little bit of fuel off screen too at some point. Just the other thing too is I don't know if I can spawn my big tanker trailer, because the big tanker trailer can take each of those in one run. So could spawn one of the big tanker trailers and just go get it all in one run. Because what I'll do is I'll put it all in the base here, and then when we're ready to go do something, I could just spawn it and go. This is going to be somewhat of a challenge to find this sucker, and that's why I kind of want to do it. So we're definitely not we're headed too far west. Need to go east a little bit. No, northeast a little bit here. Yeah, so one of the reasons I built this boat, small and simple, is, I keep saying, like, people be like, oh, the beginner boat sucks, whatever. You notice, like, in a couple hours, you can really build a really reliable small boat as your first boat. And, like this is pretty nuts wind. What are we at here? We're at 37 now. We're at 66 before. Waves are pretty gnarly. No problems. I have no issues with this. And remember, when we were building this boat, it's inherently stable. It does not want to tip over. So this boat, even if it rolled over in the waves, it should stand itself back up. And that makes it really reliable so that we don't have to worry about it so much. I am concerned a little bit about overheating if we sit out here too long. I don't know, Zachy. Let's see. No idea how long we stream for. Alright, let's go a little bit more north. Can't really see any okay, right there. I found him. Look at that, baby. There he is right there. Strobes do help, but I was looking toward the east to try to find a landmark, and I saw the boat. And so, like, when I did the new player career build series, I heard this all the time, is like, oh, the mission's so far away, how are you supposed to find this? And, like, this mission seems to a new player far away. It really isn't. That took us, what, 5 minutes to get out there? And this is in really bad conditions. A little bit of knowledge of how to work a compass. I'm just using a compass. But you can still see the lighthouse, So just with a simple compass, even in bad weather, in this tiny little boat, no problem. It just takes a little bit of navigation skills, which, of course, I have a little bit more than most. But, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of navigation skills, and realize, the game is, your PC is not going to explode and kill you if you do something wrong in a game. Just try it out. See if you can, do a. Why is this running? Oh, it's the boat behind me. I think it's trying to start. It's try it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You have to reboot your save. I thought I didn't put him in a seat. This is going to take forever if I can't get him in a seat. Where is he? Come here. Stop being a jackass and come to me, you scumbag. There we go. Ugh. This is enough. Is it my boat doing that? I don't think it is. I guess it was. My boat shouldn't be trying to start itself though. It shuts off when I get off the control yoke. Should be killing the power. I thought it was this boat. I don't know. Ooh, hello. Don't get up in my face there, son. I guess it is my boat. I don't know why it's trying to restart. It's should have the power. Jesus Christ. Space here. Should have the power killed when I'm off the helm. I think it's this last person here, and then let's get out of here. But yeah, see, you don't need a lot of navigation equipment. You know, people are spoiled nowadays, especially, you know, I can imagine younger kids who like never not had GPS. Like, the world existed before GPS. You know, people used to navigate via map and compass for many, many thousands of years. It still works. You know, you don't need a GPS. You really just do not. You know, is it fun? Is it nice to have? Sure. But do you need it? No. 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, good. You don't need it. So like right now, straight back towards the lighthouse. You know. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It should be, if I'm not on there, it should absolutely disconnect the battery from the starter. So there should be no way for the starter to go. Look at that. We got a nice following sea here. But, you know, it's, because a lot of people, like, they don't think they can navigate without a moving map. Well, guess what? You're never going to be able to navigate without a moving map if you don't ever try to navigate without a moving map. You know, you need to have that little bit of, you need to not have the training wheels. You know, the training wheels need to come off at some point. You know, and that's kind of, you know, understand the actual navigation. You need to not rely on GPS, you know, and like, I never have a moving map except in Triton. I don't find it interesting. It's like, yeah, of course I can navigate. You get a sense of accomplishment when you kind of you get there and you did it on your own accord. But when you're just following the GPS, it's like, oh, you didn't really do anything, you know. So I kind of like my navigation systems are usually single point bearing systems where, yeah, it gives me a bearing, but that's it, you know. That's just my personal preference, but it's you know, it's always better when you can navigate without it, and then it, you know, you have that as a tool to make it easier. You know, shouldn't be reliant upon it. It's a good tool to have. Yeah, everything looks really far on the map because people are thinking of, like, a mountain could be hundreds of square miles IRL, and of course in game it's small. You know, and this seems like, oh my God, what a distance. That's very short. You know, you can literally, like, if I get in an airplane, I can see from here to there. I wish this was down here, man. I really do. I wish this was down here. I wish it was the same distance from the main island as Tajan, you know. But, you know, and it's, I don't know, some people just, they want constant action, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not my cup of tea. You know, like, I have no desire for the 300 knot boat, you know. Doesn't interest me. I want a boat that travels like a boat, and if I want to go fast, guess what? I take an airplane. You know, that's one reason I kind of keep my speeds realistic is, yeah, if I want to go fast, I take an airplane. If I don't mind going slow, I take a boat. If I want to do containers, it's most likely going to be a boat affair, you know. And so it's kind of, yeah, because if you get to the point where everything's showing 300 knots, it's like, what's the point? You know, you'll be there in 2 seconds. And then people go, oh, I'm bored. Yeah, of course you're bored. You know, you're just doing everything in like 10 seconds. You know, take your time, savor it, enjoy it. You know, oh, shit, we're overheating. Okay. I knew that was a distinct possibility. Fuck off. Out of my hands. I don't have a repair torch on this, do I? Probably not. Oh my God, I'm going to throw you overboard in 2 seconds if every time I try to work this fire extinguisher you go, oh, you know, you get in the way. Get in there, you scum. I don't have a, I'm going to just no-clip and get a repair torch. That will remind me to put a repair torch on this, so I need a repair torch. I have way too many fire extinguishers, not enough repair torches, so. That is the nice thing about doing a career game. Like I have four fire extinguishers, no repair torches, so that doesn't make any sense. So I need some repair torches. Where the hell am I? Over here. So I need to put some repair torches on that. So that will be on the to-do list. Yeah, make sure I put one in each. I didn't intend to have that many fire extinguishers. I just forgot to change them out for the other things they were supposed to be. Okay, map. So, you know, another reason I really just advocate for having this menu on, it's like that could be prime frustration, just be annoying. You turn that on if you feel like it. Go get a repair torch and come back. You know, it's your. Oh, it landed right on top. You know, it's your game. Play how you like it. You know. See, I see a ton of people constantly just like having a miserable time where they could very simply, like I was talking before about how all you have to do is, okay, currently your cooling systems on your boats are broken because the devs made a big change to the game that we asked for. Did they do a great job doing it? No. But they're trying to do what we want them to do. And personally, you know, one of the reasons I don't give the devs a lot of crap, even though they broke a lot of stuff, is you know, if you get a slap for trying new things, you're never going to try new things again. You know, and so what's going to happen is if the devs get slapped for trying new mechanics, which we asked for, God damn it, new mechanics that we asked for, they're just going to stop doing it because they say, oh, the downside is too great if we... Fuck off, person. The downside is too great. If we do something, you know, at all risky, then the community is going to shit on us for it. And so, you know what we'll do? We'll put in a window pack and we won't do anything else, you know, and that's what's going to happen. You know, it was like when people were doing the review bombing, one of the reasons I was against review bombing is there's a difference between leaving an honest review and review bombing. And one of the reasons I was against review bombing is it doesn't make the game better. What it does is it slaps the devs for trying something new and innovative, and sometimes when you try something new and innovative, it blows up in your face. And if people are reasonable about it and you say, yeah, you know, it sucked, it took us 6 months, like even if it takes 6 months for them to fix this update to make it perfect, in my opinion, it was still well worth doing it, and I think the 6 months of quote-unquote suffering is worth it because we got some really cool pressure mechanics that I think have really improved the game. But you need to have that freedom to be able to take some risks. And if you get slapped every time you take a risk, you never take a risk again. And the same people will complain that games are all the boring, cookie-cutter nonsense with microtransactions now. Oh, what happened to all the original games? Well, you review bomb them into the dirt. You know, you have a small indie dev team of 3 people who like are taking home a third of what they used to take home when they just went to work. And they're trying to build a game they love, and people are, you know, they're just harassing them and being negative the whole time, and they say, screw it. It's not worth my time. You know, I'll just do a quick, like, cookie-cutter game and get it out there and get my money. You know, instead of making a game that's maybe niche, maybe different. You know, and so that's one reason why I don't give the devs a ton of shit, is it's like, one, it's counterproductive, is this isn't a very big niche, this type of game, and I want them to take some risks. I want them to try to do some things, and you know, it's okay if the game breaks for a little while. I think if overall we get some cool things tried. You know, many games have done this, like Farm and Sim, you know, which, you know, they would come out with a new game every year or two because, you know, they need to completely redo the game to get the things the community wanted in there. You know, and so it's, if you keep getting a slap every time you do something, you stop doing anything interesting, you know. And it's taking that risk is important. Being able to take some risks, do something risky, and it's not always going to work. And guess what? Most of the time it's not going to work. Most game companies go out of business, you know. And so, you know, it's, that's why I was really against the review bombing crap. It's like, leave an honest review, but like to go and to try to just recruit some people who've barely or never touched the game. Like, people are trying to review the game who've never played it before. You know, and it's like stuff like that, just to be cool. You know, it's like, that's counterproductive. That does not help the game, you know. Let's put you there, okay. You know, what helps the game is, you know, going where they ask you to, right? There's a bug tracker. Go on the bug tracker. Put your bug on there. You know, before you put your bug on there, search. See if somebody else put that bug on there. If they did, support that. You know, I keep seeing on the bug tracker, somebody will put, you know, one, there's low effort posts like fix the game. Well, what's that mean? What are you talking about? What do you think's broken? Okay, what is broken? What's your example? How can it be fixed? You know, that's something that annoys me, is the low effort, just like fix game posts that you get every week on Steam. That's useless. You know, that's not helpful. And then, you know, I've had it a couple times where I've been like, oh, you know, yeah, I agree. That would be cool too. Why don't you post your bug tracker link, and I'll click on the star, and they go, oh, I didn't fill out a bug tracker. Well, if you're not going to put in a bug report, you don't care about fixing the game. So all you're doing is complaining, which is fine. Complaining's valid, but if you actually want something to happen, you need to put in a bug report. Frankly, that's what you got to do. And if you're not interested in putting a bug report, fine, but you're not helping the game. You know. Save this. Yeah, so that's why I get a little ranty on that. It's just because it's counterproductive and it doesn't make any sense. And you know, it's funny that, you know, they think there's some sort of martyr helping the game by being rude. It's like, you're not. You know, you're making the community worse. You're not making the community better. At the end of the day, you know, make the community better. All right, let's go. Come on, peeps. Come on, peeps. How's it going there, Zerfin? Yeah, so put a torch on there. So we now have one in the boat. So that is, you know, like I said, the seawater cooling presently is broken. I need to check I'll check the bug tracker again. I did do a quick check to see if it was if somebody posted something about. What the fuck, why can't I get I can't remember why I can't get these people to stop following me. I thought I changed the keybind or something, maybe. Okay, it was just there. It's a little bit more precise now. I gotta be. Okay. Let's grab a sled. So, like the liquid cooling for water, the water cooling is quote unquote broken. It would not surprise me if the devs changed it on purpose, so you can't do raw water cooling anymore. You have to go through a system. But I also did some testing with some of the cooling loops, and they're not working right. So it wouldn't surprise me if they're still working some of the bugs out. This was a huge change. I think I keep seeing it as well that people are saying, oh, the space DLC broke X, Y, or Z. It didn't. The space DLC broke gravity on day one. That's what the space DLC broke. There were two things that happened on October 12th, and the reason I know there are two things is I read the updates. The updates stated that there would be a DLC, the space DLC, and it will also have the major update, which is the pressure update. So the pressure update was the major update. Let's see if I think I have a torch. There we go, first aid kit. One of these guys, I don't want him to fall off the back. The major update was the pressure update, and the space was the DLC. And so, like, you keep seeing people like, oh, they should roll back the space so we don't have to deal with the pressure anymore. The pressure had nothing to do with space. The pressure update was a major update. That comes to the game for everybody. You know, that was the major update. Let me see what my controls are. What's up with this? Oh, I forgot this was broken. This one's broken. I haven't fixed this one yet. You know, so I keep seeing that as well. The pressure update is not a DLC. The pressure update was a major update. It's different. It comes to everybody. It was an intended feature. It was asked for by the community. It was in the vote. The vote asked for pressure mechanics. You know, they came back to the community in May. They asked the community, hey, do you guys want pressure mechanics? It'll probably break a bunch of stuff. And people overwhelmingly said yes. Some people said no, but overwhelmingly they said yes. And at the end of the day, I think it was cover your ass. They were going to do it anyways, and they should have done it anyways. They don't need our constant permission for every little thing. You know, at the end of the day, it's their game. They should have a singular vision and just do it. And yeah, it's great to have some community feedback as well. But at the end of the day, you as a developer need to make the game you're going to make. And you know what? Some people are going to like it. Great. Some people are not going to like it. It's not the game for them. It's like, I didn't like Starfield. Didn't mean it's a bad game. means it's not the game for me. And you're never going to make everybody happy anyway. And so anyways, with the pressure mechanics, there's a lot of things that changed. I think they're still going to be working on it, but right now the seawater cooling is broken. Or not broken. The flow rates are so low that it's effectively not working. Let's put it that way. And so what do I recommend? Turn on custom menu, shut off overheating if you're relying on that. And guess what? In a week, a month, whatever it takes, it will be working again, and you'll get a message. Read the updates. When the update comes up, it will say, seawater cooling is working again, or we've changed seawater cooling so that you can't do raw water cooling anymore. You have to do some sort of liquid-liquid heat exchanger because it would be unrealistic to put a bunch of salt in your engine. And then okay, now is the time to change my build, because a lot of people are getting rightfully frustrated because they're making huge changes to the build, but the problem is nobody forced you to change your build in a major way. You chose to do that, and so you kind of have to look in the mirror of, I made huge changes to my build prematurely, and it's really not, the devs, of course, would have been great if they came out day one with perfect update, but at the end of the day, you chose to redo your whole build, and then you chose to redo it again. Oh, shit, are we crashing here? Might be. You see, I might be crashing. Might have too many people in one area. Could be crashing here. Upwards have seawater cooling. Let's see if this will recover. I think we have way too many people in one area. I might have to do a bug report on this, or I will put in a feeler to see if this is desired behavior. Just wait a second, see if this recovers. I think there's way too many people in one area. Like, you notice the people aren't despawning. I'll check the bug reports for that, but it looks like it's hard crashed. Yeah, it looks like it's hard crashed. So I think it was just overload the system, frankly. You saw how many people were just sitting there in one area. Wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, so while things are going on like this, just if your shit's overheating, radiator's working. If you want to keep seawater cool and you don't want to rip your whole ship apart, don't rip your whole ship apart. Very simple. I would highly recommend people do not rip their whole ship apart. What do I think you should do? I think you should very simply turn off overheating and read the weekly updates. Put in a bug report, support a bug report that says that seawater cooling is not working. I'm just rebooting. All right, so right here, let's right here, look at this. Seawater cooling does not work 2 days ago. Large preset engine not cooling. I don't know anything about that. Module engine overheats, cooling issue to not what that's. I don't understand that. So that's 1.12. Okay, so this is a reasonable write-up here. Okay. Okay, so right here, that's been fixed. Thank you for the report. This has been fixed in an upcoming version. Okay, so that one's gone. Let's see. 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 1 week ago. So, for example, like if you go here, seawater engine does not work. So let's read it. A lot of people are not doing this. They just go right to write up a new one. So read the sucker. Notice no stars on here. Am I logged in? I am logged in. Okay. Seawater stopped cooling down module engines since the pressure update came out. Engines cooled with seawater behave as if entirely uncooled. Simply pump seawater through a manifold. Manifold coolant temperature instantly reach ambient temperature, but provide zero cooling to attached engine. That's a good write-up. It's telling exactly what it's doing. That helps the developer do it, but I think they didn't really take too much effort to do this, unfortunately. Thanks for the report. It's not possible to know how to reproduce or verify this issue from your description. I think it is. I think this is nonsense from the developer, frankly, right here. They say exactly how they did it. Simply pump seawater through a manifold. See manifold coolant temperature instantly reach ambient temperature, but provide zero cooling to attach engine. So let us do that. So that does annoy me when the devs do that. Again, I do think in the back of my mind, though, it is a development team of 4 people. So every time I kind of say, oh, that's easy, why don't they do this? I also add that caveat to myself is it's only 4 people. Can they Can they get that done with 4 people too? But I do think it's nonsense they didn't just do this quick test. The person did do a reasonable explanation. I have no problem when somebody puts a terrible write-up and the devs ignore it, because yeah, they don't have time for terrible write-ups. Put a good write-up, which I think this one was, you should be able to. I wish the devs would just take the time to do it. So, all right, let's do fluid here. So we'll test it ourselves, because there is definitely, I did some testing before, but we'll do some testing here. All right, pump. Yeah, I think there's too many people. I'm going to put in a bug report. I need to search for the bug report, see if somebody put one in. If there's too many, the people are not despawning for missions, and I think that's what crashed the game, because there's like just way too many people, and two of them were glitched in a door. And I think as soon as the door closed, it pushed them through and it glitched them out. All right, so this was a test. I was doing some cooling tests the other day like this. Let's check. So engine overheating should be on. Infinite electricity's on. Okay. Oh, I flipped it over. You suck. You suck. All right, let's follow my own instructions and push this down onto the sea. All right, let's jump in there. All right, so let's look at the cooling manifold. Put a cycle through here. So we're only getting 10 liters per second. This is what I think a lot of the raw water cooling problems people are having right now. I agree with this. This is an issue, the raw water cooling. It's only at 10 liters per second. If we do any other sort of cooling, we're getting very good cooling rates. We're getting better than before. I think they either need to come out and tell us, hey, we don't intend for you to do raw water cooling anymore. But if you send it through a liquid-liquid heat exchanger, it'll work now. That's fine. I have no problem with saying, yeah, we didn't want you to do that anyways. You shouldn't be putting salt through your engine. No problem with that. But they need to come out and say that. 2, as you can see, we're only getting 10.2 liters. Any other cooling system, we're getting really, really high flow rates. And flow rate's usually king for cooling. That would not surprise me if this is one of the issues, is this. And so that's what that person's write-up was saying. I kind of, I'm disappointed that the devs just didn't, they say it's not, this is just a copy-paste, and, yeah, that's nonsense. They should have taken the time. Same here, modular engine cooling, impossible. Seawater to try to produce, simply put a pump from the ocean to modular engine cooling manifold and eject in the ocean. I also try to put a gas relief valve before the manifold, does absolutely nothing. Okay. So we'll star that. I'll put my 2 cents in. You used to 75 liter flow rates through the fluid ports. For raw water cooling. Now the pump rates are only, let me see where we at here. Right there. What are we running? 10.2. All right, so I'm putting what the system would look like. So coolant manifold pipe, pump, we even do pump in, pump out. So trying to make this as clear as possible for the devs. This, like, the better your write-up can be, like, this is nonsense. I absolutely 100% agree. This is a bullshit response to this. You know, it's not possible to know how to produce it. It absolutely is. Simply put a seawater through a manifold. Seawater coolant temperature instantly reach ambient temperature, but provide zero cooling. This should be able, the devs should be able to go through this and test it. I've done it myself. I have another test build I'll show you that I did yesterday. This is bullshit that they gave us boilerplate answer. You know, even if they're like, thank you for the report, we'll look into it. You know, and then do a quick picture of their test. Is this what you're doing with your system? You know, that shows that they're actually trying. This actually annoys me. This is just a copy pasta. Like, it takes you like literally 10 seconds to be like, thank you for your report. You know, we'll look into this. That's it. That's a better one than this. You know, it is. This guy gave you enough information. This makes me think you just glossed over it, and that pisses people off, rightfully so. All right, so I just put the hierarchy here. Ocean. That's not gonna be a good one, but here. So like this was my test. I did a bunch of cooling tests the other day. I need to do more tests and then I'll make a video on it. But like this was my cooling test box here, and so here are a couple heat sinks that I tested. Let's go. Yeah, water pumps. Okay, so let's just do fluid ports on these. So like this is the test that the devs should do. Like that person put enough information. You know, I have a stock built 3x3 that I know can be cooled on land with a radiator. Test is really simple. Pump up through the manifold, down, back into the sea, up from the sea, down from the sea. Pretty simple. And there's my engine sitting on top. You can see, pretty simple rise. We could even make it simpler. Let's do this. I'm going to make this simpler here. Let's run it like this. This is a pretty reasonable setup. Let's run that. Like, this is the test the devs should have done. At least try, you know. That's some of these things that does get frustrating. Absolutely, I agree with that. And I don't think it's good for the devs either. It's like, it took me 2 seconds to be like, yeah, dude, it's very obvious what they're trying to do, you know. So right here, this won't turn on until 100, so we'll let this cook for a second here. I'll read some chat and do some other stuff. This needs to start cooking. Let me make sure all the overheating's allowed. It is. Vehicle damage is allowed. Okay. I'll let that run in the background. So, here. Try to show what a proper write-up should look like of what the test should be. So there's a test. Picture. Okay, good. All right, we'll come over here. Like, I know some of this write-up stuff takes time, but this is how you actually get these things done, is to do a quick little write-up. And some people just, like, refuse. And that's not helpful either. It's like, if you want things fixed, you got to do a reasonable write-up so that people can figure out what the hell you're trying to do here. What you want, you know, because we're asking them to do something for us. We need to kind of show them how we want it done, you know. Let's do yellow. So I'm a big advocate for, like, actually, like, do a quality write-up. It just makes it a lot easier for them to test it. And then it's very easy to be like, yep, they suck, they didn't do this. But, you know, when people put a terrible write-up, it's easy to be understanding the devs being like, I have no clue what you're trying to do here, because it's like, I have no clue. Like, when somebody just writes, fix your game, like, what are you supposed to do with that information? Like, there's no good information there, you know. It's like, I'm taking the time. I'm going to do some imager here to show exactly what this system should look like. So that, you know what, when the devs put a bullshit response up like, we have no idea how to reproduce this, we'll be like, dude, I put imager pictures on there, you know? So that's a cover your ass thing too, is it makes it really simple to show them how you want the system set up, you know? Okay, go back to the game. Like my little green screen room. All right, so this is cooking. Let's see where this is at. What do we have temp-wise? 36 degrees. This will take a while to heat up. All right, let's go back to paint. All right, where are we at here? There we go. So that's like that's a reasonable diagram. It shows, hey, I've got an engine, it's floating. This is what it looks like underneath. You know, it's just going up, through, down in the ocean. You know, you want to add some more text here. Great, let's do that. Ocean. Ocean out. Ocean in. There we go. All right, so that's pretty, you know, this tells us exactly what it was. Now, when they ignore my post on there, then you can say, yeah, they're being jerks. You showed them exactly how to do it. Now, they do this thing where, like, they might be working on something this week. Oh, we already have the ocean water figured out. We're coming out this Friday with it. Just shut up about it. I think what's better is, you know, acknowledge the problem. You know, thank you for your post. We understand this is an issue. We'll be looking into it. We are already planning some fixes for some of the cooling issues. That's a great line, because what it does is it tells you, hey, they're already planning some stuff. You know, I'll wait for Friday. And it helps them as well, because people stop, like, just spamming reports, because they're like, oh, they're working on something. That's what most people want, is they just want their issue to be acknowledged, and I think that's something the devs often have a problem with. You know, it's just like, just do it, man. Yeah, because they don't have good PR. They don't cover their ass, which it's just, that is infuriating for me, because they get some, you know, they kind of get some, you know, it makes some of the criticism, you know, that's a little bit over the top understandable, when all they would have to do is, like, have a reasonable response to it, you know. Acknowledge the problem. Yep, we're working on it. You know, we understand this is a problem. We're still working to try to finalize how pressurization will work in the world. We're doing some balancing passes. Hopefully soon we'll have the finalized version out, but we're still testing some stuff. Perfect. That's a great line. Happy with that. You know, so let's go back to the bug report here. All right. Example. Imager. Done. All right, so that is my addition to this. So all I have to do is copy this link. And look, there it shows exactly what we did here. 3x3 engine, sucking it from the ocean in, up through a pump, through the coolant manifold, down, out into the ocean. That's what the system looks like. You can see it right here. The devs should be able to do that. Now, if they ignore it, it's on them, not on us, you know? And that's kind of, that's one of my big things, is like, you know, you have to do good bug reports to expect anything to get done. And if you do a good bug report and it doesn't get addressed properly, it's not on you anymore, it's on them. You know, if I see half these bug reports and they're really terrible, then it puts it back on us, you know, frankly. So, like, right, let's go back through. So that one, I started that one up. Let's see, what else? Yep, so a bunch of people, you know, that are not getting certain smoke. Try to read some of these chats here. Some of these things that are going on currently. Okay, let's see. So this really isn't a bug. Okay, there's their system running. So let's look at it. All right, so it just turned on. So notice we get very, very, very low pump rates. I'm curious if they did a fluid port restriction on this, and that's what the problem is the fluid ports are giving us a problem. It wouldn't surprise me if we're having a fluid port problem right now, because that would make sense with this, because we're trying to put the liquid in and out of a fluid port. But you notice we're only at 10 liters per second. We're going to overheat. You know, so this is what a lot of people are experiencing. So you're gonna, if you have a setup like this, likely until a solution is found, it's going to overheat. So what I would recommend people do is go on the bug tracker. Don't just start a new one. Support the one that has the most on there. Do a search. Cooling. That's what I did. I found the one that was the most recent, and the only one that I saw had anything. Support that to get the eyes of the developer back on it, and you know, put some more, like, the more pictures you guys can put, everything else, you now put it back on the developers to do it. So, like, we're going to overheat here soon, so what I would recommend is stop freaking out, stop rebuilding your systems, and go like this. Click. All right, now this engine will no longer overheat, and you're good to go. And then when it gets fixed, you may not have to change anything on your build, because a lot of people are getting frustrated. Oh, I had to rebuild my build last night. No, you didn't. You rebuilt your build last night. You didn't have to. You did it, and now something changes next week to make the game better, and now you have a complaint that you have to rebuild again. What do I recommend do? Again, shut the friggin' overheating off, man, and wait it out. Make sure you do a bug report and do it, you know. I know it's tough sometimes. It absolutely can be frustrating when they change things, but, you know, people keep trying to rebuild. It was like the day, October 12th, I remember I was live streaming, and people like, oh, I'm going to start rebuilding my boat now. I'm like, dude, why would you rebuild when likely in 24 hours they're gonna fix some things? It's like, it doesn't make any sense. You know, so you kind of have to just, you know, relax, you know, shut off cooling if you're having a problem with that. Like Triton, I did a test with Triton. I'll show you Triton's cooling system. Triton still cools. Triton can't run at full speed cooling now because it has a hybrid system. But I'm not going to rebuild Triton until we know exactly what it's going to look like. And we're not there yet. We don't know exactly how all the systems are going to be running. So, for example, Triton is mostly it's mostly liquid coolers. So, let me see. So Triton sucks up liquid. It goes coolant. It comes through a liquid heat exchanger. It pumps it out above the water line, so you're not fighting the pressure. And then if you look under here, there is also air cooling under here. So there's air cooling and there is liquid cooling for this. Triton does not overheat. It gets close to overheating, and then what it does is it has an overheat protection. Everybody's craft should have overheat protection if you can fit it in there. So, like, let's go on the engines here. Where's my engine micros for Triton? Let's find it. Let's see. So right here it is right here. That is port engine systems right there. All right, let's look. I want the engine micro. Where's the engine micro? Let's find the engine micro. So there's some simple overheat protections you can put on stuff that it pulls the throttle back when you get too hot. I recommend people put that on as well. Let's find, where is it? Right here. Okay, here's engine controller port. Okay, so here's engine controller port. What happens here is we find right here, which is 3. Let's see where I'm doing it here. So find the throttle. It's somewhere up in the throttle. This engine needs to be reworked at some point. It's all over the town. Where the hell is the engine run on this? Okay, here. So I'm trying to find the overheat protection system here. Something attached to this, so. Okay, right here. This is it right here. So here is the, coming off of this, this is temperature. If temperature is greater than 100 degrees and something else is on, I don't know what that is. So if the temperature is greater than 100 degrees, what's it do? It decreases my throttle. So if the temperature is greater than 100 degrees, it will start to decrease the throttle. And so I did a test with Triton. I ran it for like 40 minutes. It goes 20 knots, and then when it overheated, it stayed in the arid biome the whole time. And when it started to overheat, once it hits 100 degrees, what it did was it pulled the throttle automatically back to 16 knots. And so we went from 20 to 16 knots. So boat didn't catch on fire. It didn't sink. It wasn't a huge disaster. So I recommend putting in overheating systems anyways. It just makes it so that you don't have disasters all the time. Like you saw, I kept overheating my little boat there. We'll fix that right now. Like we can even do with that boat's super simple. We can fix that so that it will never overheat again. It might, it will shut itself down, but it won't overheat. So where are we at here? So go in here. Real simple. We'll build a quick overheat system for this. All right, so right here, channel 3 off the engine composite is temperature. All right, right there. So there's two ways you can do it. One, you can kill the PID, and it'll go, like it was just, the engine will keep stuttering. That's one way you can do it. So I do that in some stuff. The other way is simple. Is right here we have an up-down counter here. This is for our desired RPS, right? All right. So what we want to do is we're going to take this. And we're going to put an ore in here. And we'll take this one. This is the down. Go like this. We'll actually go in the top one there. Okay, that will go to the down. And then what we want to do is we'll grab a couple adds just to move this around. So we'll add that. And I'll grab another add. Actually, we'll do a greater than. So if the temperature is greater than, and then we put our overheat number on here. Overheat protection. Overheat protection, we'll do 110 degrees. And then this will go to, which one did I choose? This one here, right there. Okay. So what's going to happen now is if the temperature goes over 110 degrees, it's going to start to tap down the throttle. And that will bring our throttle back when we are overheating. So we can push it back up if we want. And then every time it goes over 110 degrees, it pulls it back. It says, nope, 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 you're going to burn the engine up. Nope, 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 you're going to burn the engine up. That's all you have to do. And that fixes it. And then what I would recommend, again, is we're getting updates every Friday. And they're still fixing some pressure stuff, still balancing some pressure stuff. We should expect this to go on for a while. It's a big change. It's going to take a while to get it right. And instead of them just saying, oh, screw it, we're just going to get rid of pressure. Like people keep asking to roll back. That's nonsense. This was an awesome major update. It just needs more work. And so I think it's going to be much better to just get it, keep working on it. And so like do something like this. Put an overheat protection system in there. Now this can't overheat. It's going to automatically throttle the engine back every time it overheats. Like if you want to hold the W key, you'll be able to make it overheat, but you have to hold the W key and make a decision. Yep, I want to burn my boat, to cinders. And then, again, if it's really bothering you, one checkbox can stop all your frustration. Instead of ranting on Reddit or Steam or, all this other stuff, or having a miserable game experience, right? That's the main thing. You're playing a game to have fun. Shut the overheating off and enjoy life in the game, So let's read some chat. But a little bit of a rant going on there. Yeah, temperature gauge. I'm really not putting any gauges on that little boat. That's why I don't have a temperature gauge on there. So now now that it has that temperature protection system, I don't need it. It will automatically pull the throttle back, and that will tell me, up we're close to overheating. Yeah, everything looks farther on the map. Map's pretty small. Yeah, getting lost is good emergent gameplay. You know that I like that. You know, the ability to get lost. It's like my favorite flying is instrument flying because you know you have to be on it. You have to use your instruments, and you're in pea soup. And guess what? You end up 100 feet over the right runway. You know, and that feels rewarding. It shows you know something. It shows you have some skills, and that's a lot more rewarding than yep, sunny day, just bopping around. Yeah, I would love, for the next game, what I would love is a map editor. A map editor would be awesome. If they had a map editor in this game, I would put this one here, down here. I would move all of these islands out. I would put some islands all around here, and it would give you a reason to go places. And then make it so that this island has some missions based on it. This one has some missions based on it. And then wherever we want to put our islands, then we can get, it's like, oh, there's a mission way over here. Well, this island has an airport, has a runway. I could take my boat that goes 20 knots and it would take me 40 minutes to get out there, or I'll take a plane and I'll fly from here and I'll fly over to there. So that would be, I think, good to have a map editor where we can put things wherever we want them. That'd be kind of cool. Zachy, I made a very small rescue boat and only navigation has a compass, and I'm fine navigating with it, and I'm not very old, so yeah. And that's the thing too, is you know, it's I think it's a lot more rewarding is kind of just taking a compass and going somewhere. It's like if you went out in the wilderness and you took a compass, like because of my navigation training for flying, like I can go out somewhere and I can, I'm like, oh, I know the highway's west. Let's just walk west, and yep, there's the highway. You know, and some people freak out so bad. You see all these people getting lost. Sometimes it's legitimate; they get lost in the wilderness. But it's like if you came in on the east, right, and you went into the forest west, and you know that east is where the roads are, and west is like wilderness as far as the eye can see. Well, you look at the sun and you say, okay, I'm going to walk east. And you walk east, and yeah, you might be 3 miles north of where you wanted to be, but guess what? You're back to civilization. And a lot of people don't have these skills, and they're good life skills to have. You look at them, like, now we have phone, of course, it's easy with the phone, but, if your phone dies, people panic. Well, when I started as a delivery driver, we used a map book. We had a book of maps, and that's how you figured everything out. And we used to know the name of every street in that town by memory. And if we used GPS, would we have learned every street name in the town? Of course we wouldn't. Because you wouldn't need to. And so it's sometimes necessity is the mother of invention. You kind of when you need to do something, when you restrict yourself to only being able to navigate via compass, you start to learn how to get good at it. And then you put a moving map on, it's easy town. How's it going there, surfing? Ah, Penwell's back. How are you? Do we know why they made fluid compressible? They they stated it so that I forget exactly the wording they put in there. It was in one of the patch notes. Essentially, they did it to make the system work a little bit more easily, which I get. A lot of people don't understand any of the compression mechanics anyway, and so I'm not opposed to it if it helps with making it more approachable to people. I don't know exactly what they did, but they did mention it. I'm not really opposed to it, but they did it so that certain things were happening where because the liquids, this is what I think. I think they said some of the effect of this is because liquids are non-compressible, if you filled a volume completely full of liquid, it couldn't compress. And so certain things would happen where you couldn't get air or your air system would completely clog. And then by making the liquid compressible, now you can push the air through the liquid. And that would, because the liquid could compress a little bit, and that would allow you to not clog. So I think that was, if I remember correctly, that's, I think, the reasoning why they did it, which I actually kind of agree with. It makes it a little bit easier. if you made things 100% realistic, you'd get some people who never can play, and I'm not for that. I think they need to make the game approachable enough people can still play. Yeah, my outboard has seawater cooling. It's going to keep seawater cooling, but I think that simple concession of just pretty simply, shut off engine overheating until it gets fixed. If you have a build you love that you worked a lot of hours on, I keep saying this, people, oh, I worked hundreds of hours in that build and now it's overheating. Oh, my hair's on fire. Oh. Dude, you are in control of your own frustration. Frustration gone. Just do it, man. I don't get these people with their hair on fire. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be playing a game to have fun and relax, and you're letting it bug you this bad. They're working on it. Like, the devs completely went radio silent. We're putting out no weekly updates. Did not say anything. Yes, that would be grounds for, like, yeah, it's probably not going to get fixed. I keep seeing this, like, daily. People like, oh, the game's never going to get fixed. Bullshit. Full on 100% bullshit. Because I can go through these updates here. Here, let's go. I could go through these weekly updates, and this was from last Friday. Okay. Yeah, you want to make an argument that it's not enough, fine. They talk about some of the things they're doing there. You want to make an argument it's not enough, fine. But they are doing fixes every single frickin' week. They're doing behind-the-scenes fixes, and then most of them are... They're giving us patch notes. They're not the most detailed notes, but they are working on this stuff. And, the time to get concerned is when they go quiet. Like, you keep seeing these people, oh, stormworks dying. It's not dying, man. People, go look at any of the Discords. Go look at the vehicle showcases. People are still playing and having a great time. The complainers are going to go to Reddit. They're going to go to Steam. And what are they? They're not playing, so what are they doing? Complaining. What are the people playing doing? They're in the game. Playing. I look at my Steam every day and I see the list of all these people playing Stormworks, and it's pop up Stormworks, and they're on there for 6 hours. So it's like the people who hate the game and that don't like the game, of course they want the game to fail because they feel like they have a community, of people who also hate the game, So but look, like they're fixing things constantly. Is it a mess? Sure. Absolutely. I'm not going to disagree with that. Would it be nice if it was just if they could snap their fingers and make it? But yeah, but can a dev team of 4 people do big changes to a very complex game and have it come out perfect the first time? No. And I think it's unreasonable to consider that's what's going to happen. When it came out in a brokenish state, did I think it was going to come out in broken state? Absolutely. It's 4 people trying to make a big change in an engineering game. Of course, it's going to have a lot of problems. But they're week by week, this game is getting better and better, and you can see, week by week, by week, by week, by week, they are trying to make the game better. Just like all of us, we might try to make something cool in game. We don't always succeed, but we're trying, and they are as well. So it's like, I think the game will get better and better. And, again, people need to stop freaking out. They need to just turn on the custom menu. Okay, overheating's not working right this week. I'm going to shut off overheating. Okay. Fuel's not working right this week. All right, I'm going to turn on infinite fuel for this week and enjoy my game. So just play the game to enjoy it. And guess what? If you can't, take a break, go play something else, and come back later. I did that when the update came out, and it was great. I really came back, and I'm loving the game again because I needed a little break anyway. So let's read some more chat. What's your opinion on the fuel required to reach the moon? Should it have more fuel-efficient burn rate or more power? It seems like everyone has to use unlimited fuel. I have no clue. I haven't gone to the moon in a while. I don't know if you have to use unlimited fuel. You should be able to build a rocket. I think part of the thing is this. It's kind of the Kerbal thing. Is Kerbal made things easier than it is in real life. And so in real life, the gravity well of Earth is so strong that, like, let's pull a Saturn V real quick. So, like, if we look at the Saturn V, you have this absolutely enormous rocket to get, what was it, 3 people to the moon. This absolutely insanely large rocket to get 3 people to the moon. I'm trying to get a higher def picture. If you look at the picture of the Saturn V, This is where the people are, and the rest of it is all fuel. Most of it to get you up in orbit. And a lot of it, like first stage, just get you, not even all the way out of the atmosphere, really, and definitely not circularized. And so, you need all of this down here just to get you up there. And so it's a balancing act. Do we make the game so that a Saturn V is needed to get to the moon? Or do we make it so that you can get an SSTO to get to the moon? So what Kerbal did was Kerbal made Kerbin, the planet, smaller and have a smaller gravity well. So like looking at some of the Kerbal stuff, like this could probably get to the moon, in Kerbal. This could probably get to the moon in Kerbal. Could it ever do it in real life? No. You need like something as big as a Saturn V because you need that much delta V to get yourself up there. And so like I built some cool stuff like this in Kerbal as well that gets to the moon and back. And so it's a balancing act. So I don't know how it is right now. I really don't have much interest in the space DLC. I'm more interested in the pressure. The pressure stuff really interests me. It just doesn't really interest me all that much. So I haven't played much space, but so I have no idea how much fuel it's going to take. I don't think you need infinite fuel. I think it can probably be done, but and that's the balancing act. Is if 50% of the community who plays space DLC are annoyed that they can't get their SSTO that takes off like an airplane and flies from the runway all the way to the moon and then comes all the way back and lands on the runway, well, guess what? You're going to need unrealistically huge fuel capacities or very, very low fuel burns. And then you're going to get people who want to actually be realistic and take a Saturn V to go up to the moon and throw most of it away as drop stages. So, it's a balancing act. So I don't know how it is now, and it will probably continually change. I don't know. I haven't seen anything with seawater cooling. I've done my own testing very basically, and I haven't gone through it too much. Yeah, usually what I do, like my spaceship is an SSTO. Let's find it. So mine is a single stage to orbit, and so what it does is it uses jet engines to get up as high as possible. So 40 kilometers. Use jet engines to accelerate as fast and as high as possible, and then it turns on the rocket engine. And so something like this you can make pretty compact. But, again, this is to a large extent, it's to a large extent fantasy. But that's the balance. Same thing with Kerbal. Kerbal's fantasy. Kerbal's not a hard simulator. If Kerbal was a hard simulator, you would have to have enormous craft to do anything, and it would be very limiting. So I don't know. We'll have to see what the balancing is, but I'm not really all that interested in the space part of the space DLC. So I just don't play with it, so I don't know too much about it. Let's see. Can you place images on the bug report? I don't know. You might be able to. I put the imager on there so they can go to the link. It's kind of cheesy to use OP turbo shaft and rotors hidden in the middle of the spaceship. Someone who does talk to guests for a living, yes. Shitty answer. Yeah. Yeah, that's a shitty answer from the devs. I don't think that's the kind of stuff that they shoot themselves in the foot with this type of stuff. Is you can tell there's a canned response. Absolutely, this is the correct response. Almost a snide, snarky response. I would love if they would do for some of these, like going through just regular bug reports. Some of these are absolutely obnoxious. Let's find some that are just like not great. Okay, that's fine. This person's actually put some words. Like this one I put up today. So this one has actually, I read this one today. All my steam-powered vehicles are unusable. Steam boilers don't seem to take in water. Will heat up. If nothing goes to the boiler, nothing comes back out. Okay, so they try to explain it. That's a reasonable job. Now, this is nonsense. Please just revert steam mechanics back to where they were first introduced back. No. We have pressure mechanics in there now. This is a huge new thing that a lot of people have been asking for. We're not going back, period. And we shouldn't. We should be going forward. All right. And so the devs wrote, thank you for a report, but what vehicles exactly? Can we have a link to some simple Steam engine setup so we can test? That's a perfect response from the devs as far as I'm concerned. You didn't link anything, so we don't know what your build is. And this is the problem a lot of times I have with this. We are not mechanics in this game. We are the engineers. And so unless you post how you did it, so like for example, my response, Steam is completely unusable now. Nope, it's not. 2 days ago. I did 4 tutorials recently. So I put Steam is usable. I just put out 4 tutorials and I linked to the tutorial series. Because this statement is immediately wrong because I just made some Steam stuff that works. And so it's a little bit of hyperbole, but what is better is my Steam stuff completely is unusable now. All this is fine. This I don't care for. Explain what's going on and then put links to your builds. And then if the devs don't bother looking at your builds, you can be like, yeah, they didn't look at my builds, and that's back on them. But, this, as far as I'm concerned, is like, I have no clue how this person built their system. Do they know anything about Steam IRL? Do they know anything about Steam in-game? We don't know because they didn't post any sort of builds. And you can't look at them. If they posted the link and I could bring it up right now, I'd bring up their build and I'd say, oh, change this, 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 and this, and the stormworks, yay, you're off to the races. And so this is a reasonable response to the devs. Thank you for the report, but what vehicles exactly? Can we have a link to the engine? So they're asking for the links. If this person doesn't respond to the links, I'd be perfectly happy with the devs closing this because it's like, hey, you didn't give us any links to your builds. We asked for the links. You didn't respond to us. What do you want us to do next? And they have to move on to something else. So I'm all for that. That's perfectly fine. The other one that I was showing was dismissive. And that's why I put pictures is because, the more pictures and stuff you put on there, it makes it harder for them just to put a cookie cutter response because, hey man, I put a link to the build. Like I should probably upload that build and put a link to it. But, I showed the exact setup. And so the devs should be able to look through that. And if they boot it up and they show, okay, can't cool this anymore. This used to cool. Okay, maybe we'll boost. Fluid ports, like I put what I thought it might be. Maybe the fluid ports are only allowing in 10 liters per second. Maybe that's the problem, Like here's the one I just did. Nope. Yeah, like here. So like putting in how my setup works, a picture, something. Like if I put a Steam link, that'd be even better. But this was very dismissive. It was, it's not possible to know how to produce. Like, again, I think it would have been better if they put that other canned response of, could you send us a link to the build you're working on so we can test it out? Something like that. Right there, at least shows you're looking to help, which I think is better. They shoot themselves in their own foot like that. Boilers. What about boilers? Boilers do not heat up after new update. What? 3 days ago, I made that. What date did I put out that video? Let's find out what date I put out that video because if I put that video out 3 days ago, my boiler heated up quite nicely. And I did a tutorial to show you how to do it yourself. I put that out on 25th, so 3 days ago. So 3 days ago, I put out a video showing you how to heat up your boiler. This person says boilers do not heat up. Now, I would, to be a little pedantic, I would put my boilers do not heat up after new update. And then they came back. I have a clearer explanation, even though I have flow right through the boilers with hot water. It seems not to heat the boilers well. Like it's not even being heated up. So this is the same canned response, but I actually agree with it. Thanks for the report. It's not possible to know how to produce or verify the issue from your description. So you can tell this is their canned response. I think they should add on to this, thanks for your report. It's not possible to know how to reproduce, verify the issue from your description. Could you please include pictures, workshop link, a description, a better description of how your system operates. That shows that, hey, you gotta give us a little something here. So Steam is working. Here is my tutorial series made in the last 3 days. All right, so hopefully this person can just watch my tutorials and actually learn how to use Steam and have a good time playing the game. I don't do this to be a snarky prick. I do this because I want people to enjoy playing the game. So hopefully they can, fix their own stuff. And I would rather the devs not have to work on that because I'd rather them fix some other issues. And if that person can just look at the tutorial and get their Steam working, then the devs can work on something else. So let's read some more chat here. Yeah, I haven't watched any of 454's works on that. I like to test everything myself. I tend to understand things better if I test it myself, so I usually do all the testing myself. Because that makes it, I remember it a lot better, and I can, like, if somebody asks a question, oh, I know you did this, why did you do this? I can explain why I did that. If I don't test it myself, I can be like, well, somebody said do this, and I did it, and it worked. That doesn't help, If you say, well, I did some testing, and I found out that if you do X, like, when I was doing the Steam tutorials, for example, the condenser, once the condenser goes over 100 degrees, you're no longer able to condense steam down. And I think that's a lot of the problem people are having is then they don't get any water back and the steam goes away. And they're like, oh, my steam just stops working for no reason. It doesn't stop working for no reason. What's the temperature at your condenser? And they're like, oh, 102 degrees. Then that's why it stops working, So, but you don't know what you don't know, so that's kind of tough, Let's see. I think some of the latest hotfix notes talked about islands of liquid in pipes. Yes, that's what they were saying. That's kind of what I was trying to articulate. That I wasn't doing a great job of. Let's see if I can find it. See if it was on this last one. Let's see. So this was a big one. Fluid through doors that helped me with my airlock. That instantly fixed my airlock, so that was a good one. People have been asking for stronger water jets. They did that. Rebalance engine cooling and heat. I wish they'd say more what they did, but whatever. Higher heat transfer in boilers. All right, here it is right here. Improved flow in restricted scenarios. Apply flow limiting after resolving fluid islands. So likely what was happening is you would pump, you would fill a tank with liquid. Like somebody was complaining about this on Steam, and this is exactly why they did some of the stuff is if you pump the tank full of liquid and then you want to pump air through it, you can't. You filled the tank with marbles, and now you're trying to put more marbles in there. You can't. There is no space for marbles. So what they did was, with some of it, is by being able to compress liquids now, yeah, the tank's full of marbles, but we're going to let you squish the marbles a little bit so you can still make it work the way you want. So we've made the system easier so more people can, do it. So that's, yeah, so that's what you're talking about, that comment there. Hendrik. Triton drone is, I need to work, it's working, the tugboat, but I don't have the money in that, in the live career build series to launch Triton. Yeah, I could look at the starter problem. Curious what the starter problem is here. Because this should be, let me see where the starter's hooked up here. So this is when these, okay. When this is occupied, it flips this. Let's see where the electrical problem is here. Because what it should be doing is the starters here are going to, okay, this is why. Right here, okay. Oh, come on, man, what did I just do? I actually, you know what it was? This is my starter. And this is my alternator. So my alternator is supposed to go there. My starter is supposed to go here. So that fixes that problem. Yep. Thank you for reminding me to do that. So that will fix the starter. The starter can't go now if I'm not on the helm because this disconnects the electricity. So no helm, no electricity, no starter. So the problem was I hooked them both up to the same one. So thank you for reminding me of that, Hendrik. Raspus, when I build trains, I build them in a way so I can run at full throttle for hours without overheating. Yep. A lot of people are just like, they're expecting super unrealistic things. We can do some unrealistic things in this game. We can do some really unrealistic things in this game. But you have to expect to do unrealistic things to accommodate that. So, some people are trying to get, oh, I only want my boat to go 90 knots. Okay, well, there are very few boats in real life that go 90 knots for obvious reasons. And you want to essentially break the laws of physics or break the laws of reality to make a boat that goes over 100 knots. Fine, but you're going to have to cool that sucker. You're going to have a lot of cooling. And so that is perfectly realistic, I think, If you want to do something more realistic, like people like, oh, you know, I can't get a good speed out of my boat, you know, without overheating. Grr. And you're like, well, what speed are you going? 50 knots. I'm like, dude, like my boat goes 20, you know, because that's what it would really go in real life. You know, like Triton would actually go 16 in real life, and I have it up to 20. I go like 20, usually 20% more, but that's even more than that. You know, expect you're going to need a lot of cooling if you're doing unrealistic things, you know. Yep, having a lot of overheat protection stuff's good, like Citrus talked about, so you can't overheat. Like just the simple things where the engine shut down, that's what happens in real life. If you have a car engine and you overheat the car engine, people sit there and crank the starter trying to start it. Well, guess what? The solenoid is probably shut off, so you can't actually click it over. You know, so you're doing the key and the starter's not going. Why? Because the computer is saying, nope, 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 you're not going to get that. We're not going to let you burn your engine up. You know, and that's so you can put those systems into your and put those systems right into your builds as well, like I did. You know, another simple overheat protection system that I do in some of my builds. I do it in cars a lot because this is a sticky throttle. So in a boat, you know, it's not a big deal. You knock the throttle back. But the other thing you do is right here is the PID for the engine. So what you do is, so this is occupied, right? So you say, okay, the only time this PID will turn on is if the helm is occupied and if the temperature is below 110 degrees. And so then when it hits 110 degrees, it starts to stutter. It'll go, row, 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 row. And that's another overheat protection system, is it will do that. Like that 3x3 modular I showed you guys. So like this one, I was doing some cooling tests because people are saying it's impossible to cool modular engines. It isn't. I tested it because of that. And again, people said it was possible to do, so what do I want to do? I want to test it, and I want to figure it out to help people out. So this right here, this will never overheat. This has 4 5x5 radiators. This is a 4-cylinder modular engine. Same one that was sitting on the water. This uses my the modular engine tutorial microcontroller, so recent microcontroller post, all this nonsense. Caps out at 10. Makes 1,016 S-watts, so plenty of power for whatever you need to run. This is overkill on cooling as well. You notice they're small pumps. So if I went to large pumps, I could probably maybe cut this down to 2 radiators. But that's a pretty compact package for a lot of power. You know, and this will never overheat. We're in the arid biome. I sat here and let this run for over an hour while I was playing Tarkov. Never went down. And if we look in the overheat protection system, I had this on when I did the tutorial. If you look right here, it is channel 6 starts the engine, and if the temperature is less than 110 degrees, so as soon as this goes over 110 degrees, the engine stutters. It just stutters, 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 because the PID's going off, on, off, on, off, on, and it's telling you, hey man, I'm overheated. And so what do? You bring your power back, you bring your W key back, and then it will smooth out again. You know, so this one makes you have to make the throttle correction because it's made for cars. So, you know, with a car, you're not holding the pedal down necessarily all the time, but when you are on the highway, you want the engine to just stutter a couple times so you can pull off the road. And then once you pull off the road, you take your foot off the accelerator pedal, and now the engine cools down, and then you can go again. You know, so that's why this system's different between a boat. Boat, it just pulls your thrust back, and then it will be fine. So there's some different systems, you know. But they're pretty simple, you know, and then you never have to worry about flames. Having a compass and knowing how to read a map is enough knowledge for navigation in this game. Yep. You know, and I think most people need to learn this in real life. You know, it's not a skill people have, and people get lost for no reason. You know, and get themselves in really dangerous situations when, like, it was funny. There was a guy, I was at PT the other day, and he was like, oh, is that to the west? And it's sitting on the ocean on the East Coast. I'm like, that would be east. You know, like some people have no situational awareness navigation-wise. You'd be like, you know, just go north for like 3 miles. And they're like, north? And you're like, yeah, north. Like, oh, how do I know north? I'm like, is the sun up? Yeah. Is it on what time is it? Oh, it's 1 p.m. Okay, it should be on your left side. If it's on your left side, that's north, straight ahead. So something simple like that helps a lot. Yeah. You know, a lot of people just don't have that fundamental skill. Just sad. Oh, nice. Doing your board game, yeah. Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out. Let us see. Oh, that's looking cool. If anyone's interested in off-topic chat on the Discord, making a board game. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. Is there a way to calculate thrust to weight ratio? Not really. You could do it vertical. Yeah, you could do something vertical, like real simple. You do thrust to weight. So, like, if you had yeah, you do something simple. It's not going to be ultra effective. Oh, what did I just do that for? There you go, right there. All right. So, like, you could do something like a quick test bench here, and then you could do something like this. It's kind of a quick and dirty test of seeing what it looks like. Something simple like that. Try to balance it. And you could deduce what the mass is on that. So, like, that's a positive thrust to weight ratio. And you just get it click down, see if you can't get it neutral. This is probably not sensitive enough to get it perfectly neutral. But this would give you some notion of what the thrust was of this setup. And I think it's pretty linear, especially seeing we're using infinite electricity, so. Alright, so there is got to be just above that. I don't know what the friction is on those either. They might have a little friction on them. But like right about there. Like let's say 17 is still too much. So let's try 16. So 15, I bet 16 is our number. Yeah, this thing sucks doing the throttle. Here. Get rid of this. Keypad. I find keypad works better. I'm going to be able to get more granular with this, so kind of try to decide what these are. So what's this? This weighs a mass of, I think it's 1 for a block. 1, weight blocks are 3, so, and I don't know what this, so let's say linear track is 1, that's 2, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, let me count it again. 1, 2, 3, 7, so 14, 15, 20, 24. What do you have there? And 60. 60, 24. So 84 is the mass on this. So we have 84 mass on there. 84 kilograms. I don't know what the friction is, but 84, and then let's say 16 on here. I know it'd be, what is it, 0.16? Whoops, 16. Yeah, so you get your thrust to weight ratio off something like this, so. Alright, so that's too low. Gotta be close. So something like that. It's just kind of a quick, dirty little way you can figure out some of the stuff. I don't know if it's actually reading that perfectly out to it. Let me see if... There we go. We gotta be close there. Yeah, you can see. So we're pretty close to, you know, that's a little bit of a positive thrust to weight ratio. So you can kind of do something like that to kind of basically figure it out. Check the RPS of it. It's probably reasonably linear. But you don't really need a thrust to weight ratio. That's why I don't bother it. I'll see you later there, Rasmus. Is overheated just stop? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's important to know how to read a compass. It's important to know, you know, how to do a little dead reckoning with landmarks. This sort of stuff is like, it's important life skills that a lot of people just don't, like, why do I need to do that? I've got a GPS on my phone. Yeah, your phone dies, you know, you're lost in the woods. It can be a very easy fix if you know some, like, you'll ask people, like, they have no clue what direction the moon comes from and stuff like that. It's like, oh my God. And it's like, oh, what direction does the sun come up? I have no clue. It's like, dude, this is how you, like, get yourself out of the woods is, you know, you spent the night in the woods, you're starving to death, and you see the sun come up in the east. And you know that civilization is towards the east. And so what do? You walk towards the sun. And then as the sun goes up in the middle of the sky, you know, guess what? It's noon. It's about noon. And then guess what happens? When the sun's behind you, now you know, okay, it's afternoon, and I want to put that sun behind me, and I keep going east. You know, and then it sets in the west. And then the moon comes up. And guess what? You start going towards the frickin' moon. You know. And it's stuff like that is important life skills that a lot of people just don't have anymore, which sucks because it's, yeah, stuff like that could really just like, not, you know, and you don't need everything just because it's important information. It's good to know things, you know. A lot of people are like, oh, what's this doing for me lately? It's like, it's good to know things, man. You know, might never use it, might never save your life, but it is good to know some things. Are you going to do a nuclear boiler tutorial? I have yet to play with anything nuclear. I love nuclear IRL. I love to be a nuclear engineer. I used to watch a bunch of videos from this professor who taught at Illinois Urbana. I used to love to watch that stuff. I really love nuclear technology, but I've just not got into it in game. At some point, I should get into it and play with it, but I have not. So at some point, I will get into nuclear, but I just have not yet. So I haven't done any tutorials because I haven't played with it myself. I don't just, like, I don't reverse engineer somebody else's build and do a tutorial. I try to do it all myself. That's like somebody like, hey, if you want any tips on this, let me know. I usually don't ask for tips. I want to test it all out myself. I want to solve the problems because then when somebody asks me a problem, it's more likely I'll be able to help them solve it. Because like I was having an issue. I was trying to figure out Steam the other day, and I'm like, I'm not understanding why my steam pressure's going away. And then I looked and I'm like, oh yeah, my condenser's overheated. That's obviously why. And you do a quick test. Yep, condenser stays under 100, steam. Condenser goes over 100, no steam. And so you start to learn these things by doing the tests. So I usually go through it myself. So at some point I should do it. Yes. All right, so that was a pretty good episode today. We got some good stuff done. Game did crash. I will, you know, that was likely. I'm gonna do a bug report. Let's do that really quick. Let's search for it first. But I think that is an issue. Let's see. Despawn. That's mine. Okay, no response on that one. Let's try NPCs. Let's see. 3 hours ago, taking absurd amounts of time spawning air. No. Alright, so at least take a little bit of time like I'm doing. Try to find if somebody else did your thing because it's like... Some people have this crazy idea, as far as I'm concerned, that they think that spamming with a bunch of crap over and over and over and over and over again is the best way to do it. No, it makes it really a pain in the ass. And you'll see like the really, hugely popular bug reports. They have to consolidate them, so they're wasting time as far as I'm concerned. The devs are wasting time consolidating the bug reports. I'd rather them be fixing the bugs than consolidating bug reports, so it's best if we consolidate for them, then we don't have to do it. Let's see. I looked up despawn, NPCs, rescue. I'm going to try to do a couple searches, at least do my due diligence, trying to do some sort of search and see if I can find an answer to it, but I don't see it. All right. So let's go ahead and create an issue. NPCs, not spawning, not despawning in the hospital after a mission has completed. All right. I have completed a few missions post recently with a new save. So see, this is some important detail. I'm going to say it's within a new save within with a new save within the last 3 weeks. All right, the reason I'm putting that is if it's an old version of the game, it could easily be ignored because sometimes the old versions do, the updates change things. So by saying it's a new save, that tells them I'm not working with an old save. All right, that's why I put that. I've completed a few missions recently with a new save in the last 3 weeks. The NPCs have been delivered to the hospital. Let's do this. Map. Again, more specific the better. St. Alexander Hospital. Where a lot of people, they don't put the right thing. It might be one hospital that's having the problems. The devs go test out a hospital, and it's no problem. They go, we can't reproduce it. If you say, NPCs have been delivered to St. Alexander Hospital on the arid biome after delivered to St. Alexander Hospital in the arid biome, completing the mission. So that's another important detail, completing the mission. So that they know the mission is actually completed, because if you don't complete the mission, they're going to stay in game so that you can complete it. Completing the mission. Days have gone by in game and they are not despawning. This is causing a large party of rowdy NPCs to accumulate I believe this caused a game crash when I was at the hospital. Alright, so that's a reasonable, I would say, write-up. It tells them where it's happening, because again, it could be one single place on the entire game at St. Alexander Hospital that has that problem, because like sometimes what they use is a box, and if NPCs in box and player is certain distance away, despawn NPCs. Okay, so say it was something like that, right? Well, let's say the box got screwed up at St. Alexander Hospital. Well, they could go to any other hospital, test it, and then it doesn't fix it, and they're like, oh, can't reproduce your problem. And they tried, but I didn't give them enough information. Now they say, okay, at St. Alexander's, they go to St. Alexander's, they find out, oh, we forgot to put the box back in at St. Alexander's, as an example. And they say, yep, fix the box, So, submit that bug report. All right. Let's Let's see. All right, so I think we'll wrap it up there. So that was a good episode, I think. Got some good stuff done. That was fun. Bunch of missions in there. Did have a crash, but I think it's due to that NPC issue. And I think did the right thing, put in a bug report. So that bug report is in. So thank you to Side Mountain, Connor O'Boyle, Danny, Sergeant Chaos, Aaron Pearsall, and FS Gamer for being members. If you're interested in that, it's down in the description. Thank you to Chick Store for being a patron. Also down in the descriptions, information about that if you're so interested. A bunch of merch if you're interested in anything for Christmas. You can take a look at that. Thank you to all the subscribers. If you've not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And I'd appreciate you guys if you'd give the video the old like-a-roni so that more people can find it. So thank you guys for watching and hanging out, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.